My husband's grandparents hate me. I can't help but talk back.
Gotta snap back. Ba, ba, ba.
Time to yap. I just got married on Saturday. Congrats. And we had a very small micro backyard wedding, 17 people. Groom and I aren't close to any extended family members, but he has semi-good relationships with his grandparents, so they came. By the way, this comes from the coolest bean around, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit.
Beautiful.
For reference, I am covered in tattoos and have a lot of facial piercings. My husband does not. His sister does, though, funnily enough. Grandparents are very old school, religious, conservative Trump supporters, and I couldn't be more on the opposite end of the spectrum of their beliefs. One of the reasons we decided to have a small family wedding was because we have a lot of LGBTQ friends and a few gender diverse friends, and we could not, in good faith, put them in a situation where a very outspoken woman would totally say some terrible things to them. Grandma speaks her mind and has no filter. Let's just say that. We danced this fine line during the planning of not wanting to cater to the wedding around 2 people. Everyone else invited does not share the same beliefs, but also being respectful. Both families are funny, wacky, and unserious. Just super chill, cool people. Bunch of hippies and liberals. We had so many silly bits on our wedding that everyone loved, but them.
Who cares? Your wedding.
They don't love it. Granny's angry.
And you don't want to make Granny angry.
Oh, God. Now, the first thing Grandma said to me after the ceremony was, I met your mother. I see where you get your crazy from. It was said somewhat lighthearted, but it wasn't. It was someone else who overheard who said, disrespecting the bride and the mother of the bride within seconds of the ceremony ending is wild. She said a very few other rude, passive-aggressive comments about me / the wedding that I was told afterwards. I swore a few times in the vows. It was not intentional. I was just nervous how they came out, which is so not a big deal to either of our families, but grandparents were furious. Our officiator emphasized our beliefs in science, parallel universes, and infinity in the cosmos.
That's funny.
Think Interstellar, quoting Carl Sagan and all that jazz. I know that they didn't like that. I also made a point when we thanked the guests for coming after the speeches when my husband said, you know, we don't believe in that divine stuff, but it's magical how everything came together. It was supposed to storm, ended up being a perfect day, etc., etc. And I took the mic and said, yeah, we believe in science. Sure, at that point, that truly wasn't necessary and an intentional dig, but Grandpa scoffed super loud, and I was just so over it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did we invite them to the wedding? It seems like everyone else.
Like it was obligation.
Yeah.
So, we gotta invite. This is their last wedding. We gotta. Make sure they have a good time.
The clock is ticking on old Gramps,
and their tickers are ticking.
Oh goodness.
Hey, maybe if you make it a crazy enough wedding vow,
oh goodness,
they might. You might eliminate a problem.
Inheritance alert. From life alert to inheritance alert. Post-wedding, my husband is conflicted. He wants me to have a relationship with his grandparents, especially his grandma, and I've told him if it wasn't clear before that her and I mutually don't like each other, and it's clear now. Grandparents are in town until tomorrow, and they invited just my husband out to dinner tonight, and I can't help but think they're going to sit him down and say something about spending his life with me. Sure, I was being disrespectful, but she was too. I told him that beyond just being his grandparents, I am the exact version of someone conservative, religious Trump supporters despise, and I'm okay with that. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I understand why he wants us to like each other, but it's just not going to happen. I know this post will start some stuff, especially with people that are right-wing, and that's not the point of this post. It's just a rant about how 2 people forced together due to marriage, despite everything about what the other one stands for. I wish I could be a fly on the wall with their dinner tonight, and I know my husband will not tell me all that was said to protect my feelings. We have an edit. Holy cannoli, this post blew up. I showed it to my husband, and he agreed with everyone and said it's not right for him to expect us to have a relationship and forced me to compromise my morals. After the dinner, I got the full scoop. Husband asked his mom how long Grandma and Grandpa will be in town for. They said 1 more day, and husband said that I want to see them 1 more time. Mom said, let's do dinner. My name wasn't explicitly brought up or not brought up. And I'm happy about that because now I don't have to come up with an excuse not to go because no way in F would I go. I'm not offended in the slightest. Seriously, does this post not show how much I don't want to spend time with them? Lol. Husband said he's going to make it clear to them to stop disrespecting me, and I believe him. So we've got, husband kind of being like, hey, let me, make sure that they're not digging on you and stuff like that. And it seems like we're getting some good little learnings here. Husband is also a leftist those two, but has the big old grandma confliction. Like many Trump supporters, they always felt those feelings, but only recently were given the okay by the effing president to be outward about them. So it's been really hard for him to come to terms with it. I don't remember the subreddit, but I know there's one on here about the true grieving and trauma of losing a family member to MAGA. Considering my entire family is left extended as well, I have zero frame of reference for that. He feels. I say that if anyone in the family wants to be in the cults, I would cut them out, but that's easy for me to say. I straight up called grandma a witch yesterday and he got upset. Whoa. OP, well, hold on. Are we tiptoeing closer and closer into a-hole territory over here?
It's just like they're old people. Like just I don't know. Just again, it causes more drama to go say Granny's an a-hole than it does to just ignore and move on.
He said, yeah, she can say witchy things, but don't call her that. After showing him the post in the comments, I think I finally got it through to him that truly anyone who believes in the horrid things Trump done is not a nice person objectively. Last thing, I know everyone on Reddit is quick to jump on the divorce your spouse. They're a bad person trained, but come on, y'all. I get it. He needs to grow a backbone in this, but to say our marriage is doomed from the start is wild. Y'all know about 0.005% of our 12-year relationship. Edit number 2, guys, I don't want to go out to eat with them. I don't know how much clearer I can be about it. Husband knows I don't want to go. Me going would mean he'd be forcing me to go, which he isn't doing because he knows I don't want to. For the love of God, I can't believe people can read this whole thing and think I'm offended that I wasn't invited or that it's somehow wrong that my husband didn't bring me. Lol. And we've got some relevant and top comments.
Ooh.
Commenter number 1, politics are morals. Your husband is demanding you compromise yours for the sake of his grandmother and not demanding the same of her? Why? Opie says, dang, it's a really, really good point. After a few years, I finally shut him down from what he and his siblings say they're from a different time. When I finally snapped and said, my 92-year-old grandma voted for both Reagan and Obama, the longer you're alive, the less excuses you have for not growing up and changing your morals.
Ooh.
Opie's laying it down. Commenter number 2 says, your husband needs to stick up for you. Commenter number 3 says, husband needs to be stepping up here. He should ask outright why his new wife isn't invited. He needs to shut that crap all the way down, whether you attend or not. And commenter number 4 says, why are you not going to the dinner? Why is the husband not saying you should/can go? Tag along and have husband act surprised that you weren't invited. But grandma, you said I wasn't invited and said you were taking me out for dinner. We are now one. So I included my bride. Of course she came. We're newlyweds. Why wouldn't she be included? Two became one, remember? We are cleaved together. Where I go, she goes. Where she goes, I go. He should be standing up for you. No dinner with grandma without the wife. Wife comes first. Unfortunately, looks like this is going to be your first married test/lesson. It'll be a hard one. I'm sorry, OP. I hope your husband stands up for you and the marriage. We have an update, but I feel like OP literally said, like, sometimes the universe throws you a bone and they're like, hey, they don't want to invite me. I don't want to go. And OP's like, okay. Like,
yeah, but I don't like these comments of like, no, you should go. Like why?
Yeah, OP doesn't want to go.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that. Like,
yeah.
I think everything that I'm seeing about this family is give them space, and maybe the husband should also, his side of the family, a little space too.
Yeah. Didn't expect this to blow up, yada yada, all that stuff. But seriously, lol. Thankfully, grandma doesn't use Reddit, so she won't see it.
Go.
There we go,
Under
baby.
the radar.
Like I said in the edits of the original post, even if I wasn't invited to the dinner, I wouldn't go, which is why my husband never pushed the issue with them or me. It saved me an excuse I already had because I genuinely had Dungeons and Dragons last night when they went out. Didn't feel the need to include that because I didn't think that was the point everyone would get hung up on. But our campaign played online, so I was home when they picked my husband up. Evidently, they immediately asked where I was. Husband said, you never explicitly invited her. They said they thought it was implied. Whatever. Again, I didn't want to go. Plus, I was busy already. So they came back and I was still playing Dungeons and Dragons. Husband comes in and asks if I can take a sec to step outside. They wanted to say goodbye. Cue to the biggest hug from both of them, followed by what they should have said at the wedding. But I guess better late than never. It was so amazing. Beautiful ceremony. You looked stunning, etc., etc.
People can come around. We're finally here.
Granny has taken her walker and shuffled around the block and is finally turning to the other side.
Learning can always happen.
There we go.
That's what I love to see.
Yes. Grandma then took my hand and said, I hope you know I wasn't offended by any of the swearing, and I hope I didn't come across that way. I loved your ceremony and vows. Okay, wow. They immediately followed by, I should have said wacky about your mom, not crazy. Heck, I'm crazy. I didn't mean it in a bad way. Your mom is a character. Same with your father. I see where you get your sparkle from. I was shocked, but smiled and nodded. She gave me another big hug. Go back inside, immediately asked my husband, what the F? He didn't tell me what he said, but he said he laid it down pretty effing clearly about how crappy what they did was and how moving forward they cannot disrespect our beliefs like that.
Let's go.
Okay.
W husband.
W
sticking
husband.
up for wifey.
Woo.
Yes.
And if they wanted a relationship with him, that was the bottom line. Hubby told them.
Up, dude. I was waiting for this moment.
I also wouldn't be surprised if their daughter, mother-in-law, hippie, liberal, cool, also yelled at them. It really hurts how many people were crapping on my husband in that post. It was a Monday night after work after a small DIY wedding. He wasn't leaving his new bride's side in some grandiose, offensive way. Like, come on, y'all are so dramatic, lol. One of the reasons I married this man was that he's not the type to cause a scene, especially at a big day. Knowing how grandma is, even if he took her aside during the wedding, it would have caused a ruckus. I knew it would be handled, and it was. Dude, this is what great trust in a partnership and a relationship. Like, she's like, oh, I know you got it, so I'm not worried in this second.
That's awesome,
dude. And fully delivered.
Big win.
Fully delivered. Wow.
Big win.
I hope everyone reads the edits and saw why deep down it originally made my husband sad. He is having difficulty coming to terms with finding out who his grandparents truly are. They never were outward of their bigotry before a certain president made it okay to do so. I was wrong calling his grandma a witch to his face. I was hurt and he knew that, but it was a low blow. He's no longer sad. He gets it. He also knows that her apology, whether real or not, doesn't mean I'm going to have a relationship necessarily with her and grandpa. By the way,
what?
You are legally obligated by law to have a relationship with us and to spend as much earhole time with us as humanly possible. The best way to do that is go to Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and search OK Storytime and listen to our 2000 episode catalog. Samuel, any final thoughts before we get into this final chapter of the story?
I'm glad that hubby finally stood up and said no.
Yeah.
You know, it was about darn time.
And I love how both sides kind of came to the table and was like, hey, let me appreciate you and essentially kind of apologize and try to be empathetic. And then OP was like, yeah, same here. Like, I shouldn't have said this. Like, it's just a really cool kind of coming together and, seeing the other person and deploying a lot of kindness.
We love kindness.
So, one last thing. We didn't invite any friends to the wedding, just my BFF, the officiator. Like I said in the post, there were multiple reasons we did a small family-only wedding, only one of them being not bringing our LGBTQ friends around them. There were other more important reasons, including wanting to have a small, relatively easy wedding ASAP due to my father's ailing health. Other reasons I don't really want to mention, we didn't solely plan our wedding guest invites catered around the grandparents. And some quick relevant top comments. Comment number 1, hey, I'm asking out of curiosity why it took 12 years to marry. Are you guys really young? OP says, yes, we met very young. We weren't in a huge rush to get married either. My father's health started declining, so we decided to finally tie the knot. Commenter number 2, now it's time to have a barbecue and celebrate with all your friends. OP said, that's the plan, doing a friends-only shindig in January. Plus, I'm hosting a Dungeons & Dragons game as my, all genders included, bachelorette party. Yoo! Woot woot. Comment number 3, glad hubby read the riot act, it seems. Have a wonderful marriage. And comment number 4 says, your husband handled it perfectly. I know you never doubted him, not once. My prediction is you will go the distance, and thanks for sharing. Love it.
I love love.
A lot of great things here.
I love love.
Love, man.
We love it when you love it.
It's a great thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like we're in a lot better place than we started.
I agree. I love a lot of amazing lessons learned along the way.
But that's where that story ends. My husband's best friend humiliated me in front of her whole family.
Get him out of here.
So I, 30 female, have been happily married for a few years now. My husband, 31 male, is honestly a gem. Kind, patient, hilarious, loyal. Basically everything you'd want, which, after having an ex cheat on me with his best friend, is kind of a big deal. It's got to sting.
That's horrible.
That relationship wrecked me for a while, but I worked hard not to drag the wreckage into something new. And my husband, thankfully, has never given me a single reason to question him. Until now. Maybe. I don't know. By the way, this comes from AnxiousFemme12, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, my husband and I have a great relationship, and we're pretty social and often hang out with each other's friends. I get along with almost all of his friend group, and they've honestly made me feel welcome, except for her.
Yep.
His childhood best friend. Let's call her C. C has always been cold to me. Not outright rude, just subtle enough to make me feel crazy for noticing. You know that kind of vibe? Every time we've been in the same room, she's managed to talk around me, not to me. I tried. I really did. I've smiled, made conversation, been nothing but warm, even when she's given me nothing to work with. She doesn't show up to group hangouts, but she'll invite him over. And he always tells me, to his credit, he never goes without mentioning it, and he's never been weird or secretive about her, but it still rubs me the wrong way. I've tried to be friendly. I've tried small talk. Heck, I've invited her to our birthday barbecues, engagement dinner, and she bailed on it all. She skipped our wedding too. His best friend.
Well, what kind of friend are you then?
The red flags are
Going crazy.
Yeah, they're going crazy right now. Right?
100%.
How is he not seeing this either? She only ever seems to reach out to him, usually when she's just been dumped and needs to talk. When I brought it up, my husband says I'm overthinking it, that C is just a little odd socially. Maybe she is. But then, weeks ago, out of freaking nowhere, she messaged me. She asked if I would model for her project. Totally unexpected, and I was caught off guard enough to say yes.
Okay.
Part of me thought maybe this is her trying to connect. Which, hey, that's good. We wanted that.
Could be. Could be.
Maybe this was her olive branch. I even felt a little hopeful. God, I was naive.
Ugh.
So I agreed. My husband offered to come with me since he hadn't seen her in a while and thought it'd be fun to catch up after. When we got there, her family was also involved. And from the second I walked in, it was like stepping into some passive-aggressive Twilight Zone. Her mom and sister kept calling my husband our son-in-law. I laugh awkwardly, and I think I must have misheard. It only got worse. During the shoot came more snarky comments, jokes about the one that got away. Some bonds never fade. Her mom at one point literally said, we always thought C would end up with him, but life has its detours, I guess.
Ma'am.
C always imagined walking down the aisle with him, and then it's sweet of her to fill in, though. Oh, come on. I wish I was exaggerating. And C just kept snapping pictures, smiling, saying nothing. No, hey, cut it out. No awkward laugh. No redirect. Nothing. My husband, clearly uncomfortable. I watched him fidget through the whole thing, cleared his throat a few times. He tried to change the subject or came near by me during the shoot. He didn't say much either, just went kind of quiet. I stuck it out for an hour, let her take her photos, smiled, posed, whatever. But the whole time I felt like I was part of a social experiment and everyone else was in on the joke but me. When we got in the car, he was silent for a while. I mean, what do you even say to that?
Dude.
What do you even say? I mean, because I feel like there's been hints that this kind of thing has been happening.
Right.
And now it's so obvious.
Yeah. It's like, dude, we know what's going on. And you're continuing to have this relationship and not just, it just goes unaddressed. There's no way he doesn't know.
Do you think there's an ask that OP makes? Or do you think there is a thing that the husband says that makes OP, that would make OP feel heard and safe?
Yeah. I feel like it's, hey, can you call them, reach back out to them and be like, hey, what you were saying in front of my wife is unacceptable. Like, that's not cool. Like, I love her. Like, I'm with her. Like, why would you say that?
I almost want him to come to it though,
That's, that's what, that's the ideal. That is the ideal.
Like, you need to advocate for what you want for sure. But I'm like, is this not obvious? When we got in the car, he was silent for a while. Then finally he said, sorry about all that. That was weird, right? And honestly, I didn't know what to say because, it was weird. It was borderline disrespectful. And the fact that he was there, saw all of it, clearly felt it too, and still didn't step in or pull the plug, it makes me feel kind of alone in this. I think that's a completely fair thing for OP to feel.
Most definitely.
I'm just tired. Tired of pretending this woman is harmless or just awkward. He knows exactly what she's doing. I don't want to start a huge fight, but I'm at the point where I don't want her in our lives, not as a friend, not as a ghost in the corner of our marriage. No more bending over backwards to be the cool wife. I'm not interested in earning points with someone who clearly doesn't want me around. Anyway, thanks for letting me scream into the void for a minute. I really needed to get this out. There are a few things that we want to clarify about this story. But before I get into that, John, any thoughts on what we have so far?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of like, I don't know, probably my response in OP shoes would be, are you telling me that you didn't see like anything? Is this so weird and out of place to you? Do you think this is completely out of left field? And also probably share like, hey, I had all these moments where, like you said earlier, it feels like she's like always talking around me and kind of like almost like getting in her head. This, I think, proves a lot of that. But she's clearly trying to like mess with her, like provoke her in some way, especially with the comments you said.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like you don't want someone like that anywhere near your marriage, because although their bond may be close enough to weather that kind of shenanigans, like
why weather it?
Why weather it? Why even put your relationship in the crosshairs of that? So clarify a few things. C is actually a photography major, and this shoot was part of her final project. I'm not a professional model or anything, but I've done some hobby modeling here and there. And when she asked if I helped out, and when she asked if I would help out, I thought it was a casual favor. Why at her house? Well, she comes from a wealthy family and has a fully set up photo studio in their house, which is why the shoot happened there instead of at a regular studio. I honestly thought it'd just be her and the camera, not a full audience with drinks and commentary. Additional background, I grew up in a pretty emotionally harmful household, so I think I've gotten used to passive-aggressive comments and just sort of freeze up. Maybe that's why I didn't react more in the moment, but yeah, it definitely hit harder after the fact. I'll update you as soon as possible. And consensus, people say that she's a doormat, that her husband is probably cheating with the best friend with the 100% probability.
100% probability?
I don't know if it's 100%.
Woo!
I don't know if it's 100%.
That's some math for you right there.
That's crazy.
Statistics.
But we got some notable comments. So,
okay.
Borderline disrespectful. I'd hate to see what you think is actually disrespectful, says
Yes!
No Strawberry 5804. You should be telling your husband it's not weird. It's par for the course. This is just a step towards the very apparent behavior from C that he's allowed to let happen over and over every time he left, whether to spend time with her out of the home or over the phone to spend time with her. She tallied that as a victory. Now it's a matter of pushing the line. How much will he allow at your expense? How easy will he forgive with a short, insincere apology if he finally says something? She's playing the long game, trying to plant ideas, and it's even better when someone else can plant the ideas too. Enter her family. This is not new. This is not weird. This is her normal behavior toward you. Maybe his rose-colored glasses are slipping. Says mistakes were made, 427. And girl, if there was ever a legitimate reason to start a fight, it is this. That is a bizarre power move, and your husband being a doormat, allowing them to humiliate you, made her think she won. You need to have a heart-to-heart with your husband because it seems like they were together at some point, and your husband is not being honest with you. He also needs to learn to stand up for his wife. And if you want to give him the benefit of doubt that his eyes have been opened about his old friend's feelings about him and you, that's one thing. His take on it now and his response will tell you what kind of husband he really is. Ignoring or justifying her behavior would be red flags at this point. And another person says, time for spine check. I'm guessing it's pretty wobbly if it's there. And we got an update.
I love that. Spine check.
Spine check. Well, a quick recap for those who missed the original. My husband's childhood best friend, C, has never liked me. She skipped all invitations but invites my husband alone. Avoids me in person and still found little ways to insert herself into his life. The final straw, she asked me to model for her final project in photography, and I showed up thinking maybe it was a fresh start. Nope. Instead, I got publicly mocked by her family, who joked out loud that she should have been the one marrying my husband. First off, holy crap. I did not expect that post to blow up like it did. Thank you to everyone who commented messages or just made me make sure I wasn't losing my mind. So many of you asked for an update. So here it is.
Yeah.
For those wondering, no, they never dated. He had a high school crush on her over a decade ago. That's ancient history. No, I don't think he's ever cheated emotionally or physically. He's always very open and honest. We have each other's passwords. They barely see each other anymore in person, maybe once every few months. We live about 2 hours away. So here's the update. Do you think he's cheating or not cheating?
I see. I just assumed he was a bit of a dummy.
Yeah.
Um,
Could be a little bit of a dummy.
but he could be a maliciously smart
dummy.
Yeah.
I'm
kind of 50-50.
I want to believe more dummy.
Yeah.
I want to believe more dummy.
Yeah.
Let's see where we actually are. So funny enough, I didn't even get the chance to sit down and talk to my husband for her. Something else happened. I just can't believe my life at the moment. Anyway, I was still trying to process what happened and sort through my anger towards C and honestly towards my husband too. That's when I got a message from my sister-in-law. We'll call her M. I'm really close with M. She's also part of the wider social circle that C floats around in. They're friendly, but not close. She sent me a screen recording from C's close friend's story with a simple, "What the F?" It was a clip of me posing during the shoot, no music, but in the background, you can clearly hear C's sister say, C should have been the one to marry him. I lost it. I waited until my husband got home from work, sat him down, showed him the video. He watched it once, then again. His whole face changed. He finally looked pissed. I could not help but think, why didn't he have the same reaction there? So I laid it out. I told him everything. Every snide comment, every time C made me feel small, how I'd always tried to be civil, how I never asked him to choose between us, but I was done being polite while someone consistently disrespected me. I told him, if this doesn't bother you enough to act, we've got a bigger problem. I don't like how this is worded because it feels ultimatum-y, but I do think it's true.
Yes. Yeah. It's and it's like, you can understand where OP's coming from because
She's so frustrated.
It's just so frustrated, and it gets to a point. And yeah, I think
you got to say something.
I think OP's just been so frazzled and burned by it, you know? Yeah.
I'm not going to be in a marriage where I have to beg to be defended. I need a partner who stands up for me. And if that's not you, then I need to rethink this. Again, this is all true, but I feel like we're using breakup language right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're quite, it feels a little bit too much, at least for me, but I can totally understand someone else doing that. I'm curious, for everyone out there, would you use breakup language in this situation? Yes or no? Maybe breakup language or nah. Let me know. He didn't argue, didn't get defensive, and I know he feels sorry. Then I showed him the Reddit post. He tried to read every comment. Some of them made him tear up. When he finished, he looked at me and said that he feels like the worst husband. He let this happen right in front of him. He is so sorry and asked me, what do you need from me right now? First W question.
There we go.
In a freaking while. What do you need from me right now is, I think, one of the most underrated but best questions you can ask anyone that you're trying to support. Such a goated question.
Yes.
Such a goated question. I told him straight up, this isn't about her anymore. It's about whether you're not willing to protect this marriage. But I'm not going to feel like I'm second place in my own relationship. So it's either me or her. Again, I don't know about the ultimatum.
Yeah.
You never want to force a behavior change from a place of guilt. Yeah, you never want to force a relationship change from a place of guilt, because although guilting someone into change will give you the short-term results that you want, it won't give you long-term results. It's not an identity change. And so, like, I feel like this ultimatum, what it does is it guilts this guy into doing the right thing, but is it actually bringing upon the change that OP wants? I really don't think so.
Yeah.
And so I feel maybe what's more telling is like, well, what do you think I need? I don't know if that feels right either, but I feel it feels better than the ultimatum. And then see kind of what he says, and then based on that answer, kind of make a decision for yourself. We called C. She picked up all cheerful, acting like nothing happened. We brought up the video. She immediately got defensive. Oh, come on, that was a joke. Are you really mad over that? Seriously? And that's when he stepped in. This isn't just about the video. It's the constant disrespect towards my wife. I didn't say anything before because I didn't want to lose your friendship, and I convinced myself you didn't mean it. But what happened at that shoot, that was disgusting. My wife came to support you, and you and your family treated her like a joke. I didn't speak up then, and I'm ashamed of that. But that ends now. I don't even know why I held on to this friendship for so long. If you can't respect my wife, you don't respect me. She laughed. Literally laughed.
There's your answer.
Wow. You're really cutting me off over that girl?
That girl.
It's his wife.
You're that girl.
OMG, I was ready to fight. But my husband calmed me down, said to see if choosing between you and my wife ever felt like a hard decision, I wouldn't deserve her. We're not kids anymore. You need to grow up. I simply do not want to be your friend anymore. I have nothing else to say. Telling you he can be a gem sometimes. And also, if you want to be our little gem, you should listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's another relevant update. But what do you think, John? What do you think about what OP's husband said to this friend? Big air quotes there.
You know, I like it.
I like it.
And when someone tells you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
Autocorrect.
Believe them. Exactly. You know, and I feel like she's been yelling loud and clear, I am a massive C word. And finally they listen.
And now we can move forward with the information at hand.
Yes. But we got a little bit more to this story. Yeah, we blocked her and her entire family. Since then, he's been checking in with me, not trying to fix things, just showing up, listening, understanding. He finally sees what I've been dealing with. We still have some healing to do, but now I know where he stands, and that changes everything to me. To everyone who commented last time, thank you. Seriously, you helped me feel like I wasn't crazy, and maybe even more importantly, you helped him finally see it too. Consensus. People are glad husband stepped up. And we got some notable comments, which I think OP responded to. It was the fact that she genuinely thought that there was any choice between you and her. And also you should update us because I guarantee this won't be the last time you hear from her.
Oh.
Which I think could be true. And this is what apologizing looks like. Address your shortcomings, ask what to do to fix it, and act with intent to remedy the situation at hand in order to mend the one at risk. It sucks a guy sometimes has to get slapped across the face with something that is so obvious, but it's how he responded that it was redeeming. And that is where that story ends.
There it is.
There it is. There. I love ending with a little wide.
We've grown.
Know?
The wide.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in a much way, we've grown. You know, we've grown the view,
expanded our minds
and our little views on the world. I don't know if I like the whole ultimatum thing.
There's some missteps, you know, but you know. If we're given some grace here and there, it's like, hey, it was road could be a little bumpy, but hey, we arrived at a nice place. And
I guess like my communication style is like so devoid of aggression. Like I never really communicate that way, so it's really hard for me to see the efficacy in that. But I recognize that I am not the only communication style that is out there. I just think often like because of how aggressive an ultimatum is, it can convince people through guilt rather than actual desire to change.
My husband accidentally confessed his affair. Now he doesn't remember doing it.
Awfully convenient.
Yesterday, my husband decided to have a barbecue and invite a few friends over to our house. He grilled and I made the sides, and everything was great. As the night proceeded, everyone had been drinking, listening to music, and dancing around when suddenly my husband texted me and asked me to have a... By the way, this comes from a throwaway captcha, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I was totally caught off guard. He's asked before many years ago, and I declined because my husband was my first and only, and I was always happy with that fact. He hadn't asked again until tonight. He got really quiet after a few attempts of asking via text and being denied. All of our friends were still there talking and laughing. He came over to talk to me. He was really wasted at this point and started telling me quietly about how he's a really bad guy and that he loves me, but he's been bad.
Okay. Ew.
Okay.
I don't like this.
I don't like it. My heart started racing, but I kept my calm and asked him what he was talking about. He told me that he was at a bar recently and that he ran into an acquaintance of mine, and she told him that they couldn't hang because she was friends with my sister. I found the phrasing odd, and I questioned him, were you trying to hang out with her? He said no, but was still acting like he had something else to say. So I probed him. Is that how you've been bad? He said no. I didn't know if I wanted him to tell me or not.
I'm just picturing him being like, I've been bad. that? And she's like, how? And he's like, no. She's
No.
like, is this? No.
He said no, but I didn't know if I wanted him to tell me or not, but I asked anyway. He said he had been with the girl that he used to work with at another job and that she was 13 years younger than him and said that it had gone on for a while.
No.
I was shocked, but I kept my cool since everyone was around and no one seemed to be aware that our conversation had taken a serious turn. I laughed it off and he asked me if I would still love him and how I felt about it. He seemed to hint that he wanted to be with her instead because he loved her too, or both of us. He seemed confused and incoherent. I laughed again and told him that I wasn't discussing this in front of everyone. The laughter was part nervous and part hope that no one had noticed or overheard. He went inside to the bathroom after that and fell into the bathtub, taking down all the bath products and shower curtains in the process. Then he vomited on himself in the tub. Our friends left shortly after that. I rinsed him off with the shower head and left him there, and then he slept there until a few minutes ago.
Oh, wait.
I checked on him throughout the night.
Okay. Now I want you guys to imagine this because I have it in my head.
Okay.
OP's husband is in the bathtub.
Yeah.
He's just confessed to cheating on her.
Yeah.
She grabs the shower head, just goes,
Hosing him down.
just hoses him
He
down.
vomited on himself.
Yeah, she goes, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a honestly great place for him to be to do that.
Truly.
Very convenient to just
Yeah.
wash it off like
Thank
that.
you.
But she just left him there.
Yeah, she's like, okay, he's fine.
He'll survive, especially after he just confessed that he has been cheating on me with someone 13 years younger. He has since gone to sleep in our bed, not a word spoken, but he put his hand on my leg while I was in bed. I got up and didn't say anything. We have 2 daughters. I didn't see this coming, although I probably should have. He is a good father, and I thought he was a good husband. He was my first and only serious boyfriend, and we got married at 23 and 27. I've never been on my own. I don't know what to do. I love him. And we do have an update.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, if this was your first boyfriend, there's going to be way better options
Mhm.
than the guy that cheated on you. Like, yes, you have a child or children, 2 children.
Mhm.
And yeah, you should find a way to like co-parent, but this guy told you because he was drunk. Like, never confess to it.
Yeah.
Has been going on it's not a one-time thing. This has been
Yeah.
going on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't know. I'm like, ready to get into what this title is about because
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he's just not going to remember telling her.
Oh yeah.
About it,
I mean,
rather,
if he
like, if
threw
he
up
forgot
in the bathtub,
If you forgot
and-
about the whole affair, a little more problematic because I think this guy has amnesia. But
sure.
I feel
But-
like you just forgot telling
about
her
the
about
confession. But there is an update, so let's find out. My husband slept until 1 p.m. He works nights. He is scheduled to go to work at 2:30 p.m. I was sitting on the living room couch when he walked into the room. It took everything not to start yelling and screaming immediately. He walked into the kitchen, made something to eat, and asked if I was okay. I was like, great, he doesn't remember. That made me burst into tears. I said, you don't remember what you said? And no was his answer. I reminded him of what he had told me that night, and he tried to deny it, but not for long. He eventually admitted to the affair. He said he had been with this one person on and off for some time. I was speechless. I asked why he would ever do that to me, and he didn't really have an answer. I don't want a cheating, lying, wasted man as my husband, but the first thing I said was, you need to decide if you want to stay married and stay under my conditions, or if you want to leave to be with her. He sat there quietly while I laid down some of your suggestions, which I didn't believe that he would agree to.
Who was suggesting that you stay with him?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that was necessarily... it looks like there were some comments in between the updates that maybe had like some boundaries suggested, but I don't know if people
Don't
suggested
cheat.
they stayed. It could just be a thing where it was like a desperate kind of thing, like oh, she like knows she shouldn't stay, knows, but like she just said it because she's been married to this person.
Sure.
And they have kids.
And they have 2 kids. Yeah. So
That's true.
I told him, for me to try and work this out, you will provide access to all text messages, emails, credit card statements, and social media. We will attend marriage counseling and individual counseling. You will lose all privacy and freedom to be out and about. Example, bars, fishing, hanging out with guy friends, etc. You will provide a record of timesheets and will be subjected to my skepticism 24/7. You will have an STD test. I will be a witch, and this marriage may seem worse before it gets better. Work and home will be your life now unless you are taking our children somewhere. You can choose this or you can leave. I didn't really know what I wanted him to say. He sat there for 30 minutes and didn't say anything. Then he said, I don't want to be with anyone. I knew this was the most likely answer, and I said fine. He left for work, and I cried for a few minutes and started reading the advice from a few websites recommended in the comments. He texted me about an hour later and apologized for being a crappy husband. I said, you don't feel bad if it went on that long. He asked if it was okay to come and get some of his things, and I said fine. Wow. So he just left. He's just no one, not her or you. Which is probably the best for both of them, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's gonna seem off, like, it sucks. I mean, it does suck, OP, but honestly, he's doing you a favor.
Yeah. So you don't have to, like, just keep going through a grueling, like, trial period.
Yeah.
See if it can work out, which...
Like, he's showing you that he's already shown you that he is not willing to work for this relationship.
Yeah.
And he's definitely showing you now.
Exactly. He came home in his regular off time, 2 a.m., and started getting a few things. I woke up and asked if he got a place. He said yes. I asked if he would come to the house on Thursday to watch the girls on his day off. He said okay. I felt like he was dragging his feet about leaving. I asked if he had thought any more about what I said. He asked me if I would really let him stay. And I said, only under those previously mentioned conditions. I will not give on one of my stipulations. He sat down. I said, don't stay for the kids. Stay because you want to be with me. Don't stay because you feel guilty. And he sat there. I asked him to leave because I needed to sleep. And he said, I'll stay.
Oh, the trash took itself back in.
No.
It walked back in.
I feel like he needs to think about that a little bit.
Like,
I feel like he needs
stay.
to think about that.
I feel like he's just thinking about, like, I gotta go to a hotel tonight. I don't want to go to a hotel.
Yeah, that's such a long drive.
I'll stay.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, well, it's not because I feel guilty.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm staying for the kids. It's just the bed.
Yeah.
The memory foam mattress. Really.
Dude, I spent a lot of money on that thing. I don't know what to say. I repeated everything I mentioned before. He said that's what he needs. I said, okay. To prove to me that you mean it, give me your phone. And he did. There they were. The texts from her. Don't read them, OP. I read through some of them, afraid of what I might find. I stopped reading and told him to text her right then and there that it was over. He texted, this is the last text you'll receive from me. I want to work on my marriage. She ended up messaging him on Facebook asking if it was really him. He said yes. She said, good luck working on your fake marriage, a-hole. And I told him that he was sleeping on the couch. She sent a few messages this morning about how she guesses that she was just some side chick and he didn't really care about her. And she hopes that she's not pregnant. It could be years before I could trust him again. I've invested 14 years of my life, 4 dating and engaged and 10 married. He doesn't drink every day or get falling down wasted often. This has occurred once or twice a year since we've been married. He's not violent and not a substance user, random substance testing at work. He has a good work ethic and has always provided well for our family. I don't know if I want to work it out. What I have managed to do this morning is to get proof of his messages. I took screenshots while he was sleeping and sent them to myself. Apparently, she wanted to get pregnant. That's definitely a deal breaker, transparency or not. I guess I'll find out soon enough. Dang, she wanted to get pregnant. So I'm confused what, like, she knew about this situation.
Seems like she knew that he was married.
And she just wanted to get pregnant from some guy?
Yeah. Because, I mean, she even said, like, good luck with your fake marriage.
Your fake marriage, yeah.
Like, I don't think she was saying, like, oh, you're lying to me. There's no marriage. I think she's saying, like, oh, you know that your marriage is not working out.
Right.
You'll come crawling back to me.
Oh, boy.
Like, yeah.
Oh boy. My plan is to get my ducks in order. I researched some local attorneys and found many do private free consultations. I work and make a decent salary, but his salary is almost double what I make. I would cover our bills, but barely. I'm going to get my own credit card. I'm going to pay down my debts faster and prepare for a life on my own.
It sounds like she's preparing to leave him.
Yeah. So she's preparing for a life on her own. Yeah. And you should prepare for a life with us because we've got so many full episodes with more stories just like this one on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Story Time.
Just do it.
We've already got 60 days worth. You could pretty much spend your whole entire life with us.
Your
whole entire life.
Your whole life is 60 days.
Well, I mean, but like, you know, by the time
that you reach the 60 days,
pumping out more stuff.
Another 60 days.
Exactly. Just if you join us live,
sure, yeah.
then, you know, these guys are spending their lives with us right now.
That's true.
How great is that?
How great is that?
But there is a little bit more to the story. But yeah, I think that's good that she's trying to get out of there.
Yeah, absolutely.
For
I
sure.
do not think this man, like, regardless of what he says, he sounds like such a liar. Like, he does not sound like he is the type of person to actually want to commit to the boundaries that you've put in place at all.
That sucks. Like it she said that they've been together for 14 years, married for 10, so they probably just had their 10-year anniversary this year. And oh man.
It's rough. That's rough.
Terrible. Terrible. But there is a little bit more to the story. I have scheduled an appointment with my doctor for STD testing. Thanks for that suggestion. Things are really wide open at this moment. I'm on the fence. I'm not really sure what I will do, but at least I have a little more time to think about it. Thank you all so much for all of the genuine advice and your sympathy. I appreciate the links to the support forums. I have been reading them. Whatever I decide, I know many of you will not agree with my choice. It's just that, my choice. As many of you have made clear, I'm not a quitter, and I'm also not going to allow myself to be hung out to dry. And that is the end of that story. Dang, man.
Ooh.
Dang.
My husband is starting to resent our daughter. It's straining our marriage.
Yeah, I bet.
For some context, my husband and I, 42 female, have been together for nearly 16 years and married for 10. We met while he was passing by the city I lived in at the time for work-related reasons. And after keeping in touch over the phone for a long while and multiple hints and signs from my end, he confessed his love for me, and we've been together since. He moved in with me after 3 years and settled in well. My family loves him, and he managed to land a good job as a high school history teacher for a school nearby. By the way, this comes from Practical Leg 5275, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Our entire relationship, he has been very loving and nurturing, always taking my feelings into consideration and going far out of his way to keep the both of us happy. He is incredibly sweet and a huge sweetheart, and even after being with him for 16 years, my love for him hasn't faltered at all. With that being said, it's a big reason why his recent behavior has completely blindsided me, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. We had our first child, who I'll call D for now, almost 5 years ago. We're going to call her Diana. My pregnancy was incredibly smooth and easygoing, and all throughout, my husband was even more gentle and loving towards me. It made me feel incredibly lucky to be starting a family with him. There were some complications with the birth, but overall, it was a very wonderful experience, and the both of us were overjoyed to finally have our daughter. For the first month or so, my husband was stubbornly persistent that I let him do all the heavy lifting and to only focus solely on myself and Diana. During this time, he took up nearly all the house chores, with my parents and sister stopping by often to help out with Diana and the other chores, and made sure to spend time with Diana whenever I needed a break. Once we both started going to work again, he called my parents during his lunch break to make sure everything was going okay. During Diana's later infancy and her early baby years, he laid back a little bit more and stopped checking in as much, but by no means did he give her less attention. However, over time, I noticed that he was gradually spending less and less time with Diana and seemed to be focusing on his work more. I love Diana with all of my heart, and I'm so incredibly grateful and happy she's in our lives, but I would be lying if I said she was an easy baby. She's incredibly stubborn and lively for her age, so when me and my husband aren't scrambling to make sure she doesn't get herself hurt or do something she isn't supposed to, we're busy calming her down from a tantrum, and it can be a little taxing. More so, I've begun to notice how much it seems to be wearing down my husband. Nowadays, he's less motivated or energetic than he used to be. He's still sweet to me, but he's beginning to pull away from me and Diana, and our life in the bedroom is completely gone at this point. Despite this, the most upsetting thing I've noticed recently is how distant he's become with Diana. The other day, she was excitedly trying to tell him during breakfast about the show she's been watching, and he just put his cereal in the fridge and walked away. How old is Diana right now? Do we know?
The daughter, 4.
She's 4 right now. Okay. The look on Diana's face after she asked me why he was ignoring her completely shattered my heart.
Dang, but that's like so normal. Let's be honest. Like there are times, well, I'm really only basing this off of the one parent I really know But it's like, there's just times where it's like, there's no more space in your brain.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not even because he's like, I don't like my daughter anymore. It's just like, I literally didn't even hear that because it just is being processed as noise.
I think it might be, I mean, Toki says parent burnout. I think absolutely it seems like that is a problem here, but it is a problem that does need to be addressed because she's not going to go away.
Yeah. Well, it's, you can't just go full stone-faced. You got to be like, oh, cool. That's all they need. They just need a, oh, cool, buddy.
Another problem we've been having recently is how little he's doing to help with Diana. Every morning I wake up early to get her dressed and fed for the day before driving her to school and then picking her up later that day. I take her to every doctor appointment, every dentist visit, every play date, and every event at her school. It feels like the only time my husband is around Diana is after she gets home from school and makes everyone food. This has caused many arguments between the two of us where I'm asking him why he doesn't put any effort into his relationship with Diana, and he gets defensive but never really gives me an answer. What compelled me to post here was an argument we had earlier this week, right as I was ready to walk out the door to get Diana to the babysitter, since no one would be home to take care of her. I honestly can't remember how it started, but I know it started as something small that escalated quickly. Many hurtful words were exchanged, and I'll be the first to admit that many of the things I told him were out of line. He started going on a rant about how much he did for our family and how hard this was on him, to which I interrupted him and asked how it was so hard for him when I was the one doing everything related to Diana. He just snapped at me that if it weren't for her, things wouldn't be this hard. The both of us went quiet after he said that, and I probably would have torn him a new one if it weren't for the fact I was so shocked. And he suddenly decided he needed to go on a walk to clear his head. This all feels like a complete shock to me, as I've been under the impression that my husband was happy and just going through a rough time. Yet after the comment, I haven't stopped rethinking every aspect of our relationship after Diana. I feel heartbroken and numb. I have no idea where to go from here. My husband and I have hardly been talking to each other since the fight. And honestly, I have no idea what I'd even say. At this point, it's starting to drain me. And although I love him very much, if he doesn't start getting his act together, I'm not sure I'll be able to handle it much longer. What can I do about this? I can't imagine my future without him, and I don't want to divorce him, but I'm tired and stressed out and trying not to cry myself to sleep tonight thinking about it. And there is an update. Dakota, do you have any thoughts about this story?
Yeah. I've got it straight in my head now. After you talked, I was like, oh, that's right. This is a story where he was a really good dad for a long time, and now he's like,
checked out.
I don't know what's going on at work. I'm sure most people be like, he's cheating. He's got a new secretary. He's starting a new family. That's why he doesn't care about yours anymore.
I think he's just really, really burnt out. Raising a child, especially a difficult child, is hard. It is draining. It's mentally so exhausting. I mean, I babysat a child who was so energetic that I had to just run around with her for 5 hours straight, and I'd be like, let's watch TV, and she'd be like, no, and it's exhausting, and I only had to do that for 5 hours. Being a parent is a full-time job, and when you have a child who is hard to raise, you need some sort of break. You need someone to talk to complain about too, and maybe that's a therapist, maybe that's a friend. Maybe, you can see if your parents can come and babysit your daughter for a couple days while he gets a break. It's just about making sure that you guys aren't gonna, hate this child, and you get the breaks that you need so that you can be a good parent. But he definitely needs therapy in general.
Yeah, you guys probably could both use couples counseling.
Yeah, I mean, you're also getting the brunt of this because he's checking out, so now you're picking up the slack. It's hard, but there's an update. A lot has happened since I last posted, and in all honesty, I don't know where to begin. Though I guess I should start by saying that my husband and I are going to go to couples counseling. And I'm very optimistic about things going back to the way they were before everything started to boil over. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who commented and helped me understand what he and I are going through and how to navigate it. Someone even recommended an episode from a podcast that helped me a lot. I didn't expect this to get so much attention, but either way, I'm very grateful for everyone who left helpful and insightful advice for me. That being said, this update is going to be very long, so buckle up. When I originally posted, the argument that sparked me posting had happened almost a whole week before. Now it's been a little over a week since we had that argument. The day after I posted, I decided to look into therapy and counseling for me and my husband, as well as play therapist for Diana, since some people suggested her being so dysfunctional wasn't normal and that she might be going through something, either related or unrelated to the behavior of my husband and me. I spent all day making a list of what I needed and wanted to bring up during the talk I planned to have later that day. I was kind of obsessing over what I wanted to say and how to say it, as many of you suggested being gentle with my wording and encouraging honesty and transparency. Diana was sick, so she didn't go to school, and I alternated between focusing on preparing for the talk and making sure she was okay and taken care of while my husband was at work. I was in the middle of getting some medicine for my daughter around 12:30 p.m. when my husband called me. I answered, and he asked me how my day was going and if there was anything I needed him to do after he got off work or when he got back home. I was a little surprised by him calling, since he hasn't called me on his lunch break for a check-in in a long while. And I could have been crazy, but it sounded like he had just been crying because his voice was a little raspy and quiet. He and I talked for his entire lunch break. I didn't bring up anything since I just wanted to have a conversation with him and save the actual talk for when we were in person, until he eventually had to go and hung up. I'll be honest, it made me really worried. Although he used to do this all the time before Diana, like I said, he hasn't done it in a while, and I started overthinking about why he would have called me. I think Diana realized I was troubled because of her father, because when I came back, she asked me who I was talking to. I told her who, and she asked me in a very quiet and sad voice if I was sad because Papa was ignoring me as well.
Dang, they gotta stop making these kids so smart and emotionally intelligent and stuff. They gotta just be like, you wanna watch Peppa Pig? Yeah. You wanna watch Peppa Pig? Yeah. I'll be like, you can watch Peppa Pig, sweetie. Just don't understand that me and your dad are not good. Please.
Now, I'm a very resilient woman, especially when it comes to putting on a brave face for my daughter. But after she said that, I felt so distraught and guilty about how aware she was of the situation and how she was thinking of her relationship with her father that I started crying, which in turn made her cry as well. While we were hugging, I made sure to reassure her that her father will always love her and he's just having a bad time.
I'm sorry, I know this is really sad, kinda, but my gut instinct is to do something funny, like saying, like, this baby's manipulating you. This baby made you cry.
Male manipulator baby.
This baby's pitting you and your husband against each other.
She told me she didn't want him to be having a bad time. I took the chance to ask her if she was having a bad time. And she admitted to me that she was sad because she thought Papa didn't love her and she wanted him to be happy again. Stop! Stop!
Maybe he should hear that, you know?
Go manipulate Papa.
Yeah, stop. You're manipulating the wrong parent. Diana, go manipulate your father.
Oh, boy.
This is up to you. It's your responsibility as the 5-year-old child to fix your father.
I woke up later that day, and by that time, the sun had already set. Diana was still sleeping, and I could hear my husband watching something in our room. I got up, and after making sure Diana was properly tucked in, I headed into our room. Once my husband noticed me, he paused the show he was watching and asked me how I slept. I told him I slept fine and asked how his day was, and he said fine as well. I decided to join him in bed, and he offered me a pillow for my back before unpausing the TV. It was awkward. It was clear there was something he wanted to tell me, and I needed to talk to him, but neither of us knew how to start the conversation.
All right, are we doing over-under? Is he cheating? Is he cheating? I think he's cheating.
I hope not.
That's why he's been at work. He's focusing on his work more because he's cheating.
Please don't.
He's got a new lady.
That's what it sounds like, and I really hope not. It was clear there was something he wanted to tell me, and I needed to talk to him, but neither of us knew how to start the conversation. Eventually, at some point, he laid his head down on my lap, and I started stroking his hair. He had his arm on under my legs, and we both sat in silence for a while as we watched TV. Eventually, I decided that we needed to talk and that I wasn't gonna delay it any longer. I paused the TV and asked him if we could talk. He seemed really hesitant and kind of tense, but he said sure. I took a deep breath and tried to remember everything I'd written down on the list earlier. I started off by saying how I'd noticed him withdrawing and being distant for a few years now. And after our argument, a few years.
Few years?
You didn't address that earlier, girl?
Clear, consistent communication early?
Yes.
All right, early communication.
The thing is, if you notice that your partner is withdrawing, what's up? Hey, is there something at work? Is there something that we can do to fix this? A week ago, I was starting to get really worried. I didn't try to sugarcoat it. I wasn't being hostile or accusatory, but I made sure to be very clear that Diana and I were starting to be affected by his behavior.
Sorry, I laughed. English major. Accusatory. Anyway.
And under no circumstances could this go on. I was tearing up a little bit, and at some point he flipped around in my lap and was hugging my stomach as I kept talking. I went on a bit of a rant about how tired I was, how I felt like he wasn't doing enough to help, and how I was worried about him. I did bring up a few of your points and mention how the way he was acting toward Diana was negligent and that he was setting her up for a whole life of pain if he didn't stop. I didn't feel good about saying it, but I needed him to understand the gravity of the situation. At this point, I could tell he started crying because his breathing began to hiccup and I could feel my shirt starting to get wet where his face was.
And that's when I started to get the ick.
Not to mention, he was trembling as he held me tighter. My husband is and has always been a very emotional man, though typically he doesn't cry a lot. And seeing him cry so silently while shaking so hard was making me really nervous and worried. I practically begged him to talk to me. He just kept clinging on to me for a long moment, and I thought he wasn't going to answer me before he told me with a very choked up voice how sorry he was. He sat up and explained how he never wanted to hurt me or Diana, but everything's been so hard on him recently that he had no idea what to do about it and just started clamming up. I asked him to elaborate, but he just got really choked up and seemed to be struggling to get his words out. I was worried he was going to shut down and pull away, and in the moment I admitted I had posted on here to get some advice and that I thought he should look through some of your comments to understand a little better. He agreed and I gave him my phone. I rubbed his back as he read through the thread. After reading for a while, he gave me back my phone, and even though he tried to keep himself together, it was clear he was barely holding it together. I told him that I wasn't going to interrupt him and that I wanted him to be honest with me about what was going on. After I said that, he completely broke down. He talked for a very long time and he was all over the place, so I'm going to try my best to explain everything he said in chronological order here to avoid confusion. As I mentioned in the original post, my husband and I met a while back while he was visiting my city, before he eventually moved in with me while we were dating. Something that's relevant now that I hadn't mentioned previously is that my husband is from a different country and migrated to the US about 2 years before we met. He told me how back at home his dad wasn't really there, and he could count on one hand the number of conversations the two of them had that lasted more than 10 minutes. His mother was always very stressed out and didn't seem to like him or his siblings very much. And the fact that he's always been very sensitive and was never into what other kids his age liked meant he had a very poor relationship with most of his brothers. The only person in his family who is still alive and he talks to is his younger sister, though due to reasons he asks me to keep private, the relationship is very strained. Me and my husband are different in many ways. I'm more outgoing, outdoorsy, and confident, while he tends to be more quiet, nerdy, and some aspects a little insecure. Because of this, our social circles hardly interlap, and as a commenter has made me realize recently, I regretfully knew close to nothing about my husband's group of friends or who he hangs out with besides me. Well, as it turns out, he doesn't. He told me how at the beginning he met 2 guys at a bar who became friends with. He told me briefly of them early on in our relationship, but he didn't talk about them a whole lot. And I admit I never bothered to ask. He told me how they were always planning ideas in his mind that I was holding him down and that dating an older woman when he was still so young and should have been experimenting was something he was going to regret in the future when he was old and no one wanted him anymore. He defended me and told them to stop talking about me like that. He admitted he kept hanging out with them because they were his only friends, and when they weren't bad-mouthing me, they were really fun. Well, after he got a job and got married, they stopped talking to him so much, and when they did finally talk and meet up again, they showed up with a female friend of theirs and told him to have fun one last time before he tied himself down. Gross. Those guys are gross.
Who are these? These are like the 2 people, they have like monster tattoos on their arms.
Yeah.
And they're like the joke where, have you seen that video? It's like they're doing like mirror selfie videos and they're like, yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with me either. And they're like showing off their monster tattoos.
It's funny. He got into a huge fight with them that almost got physical had it not been for the girl stepping in to break them up, and my husband came home in a horrible mood. I remember that day a little, though when I'd ask him why he was so mad, He just said he got into an argument with someone at the grocery store, and that's why he was so upset. Even at the time, I didn't believe him, but I didn't press him further since he was practically hiding himself away in our bed and clearly didn't want to talk. He told me how since then he's been having an impossible time trying to make new friends, and even though he's gotten used to how distant people are in America compared to his home country, he still feels incredibly lonely and isolated, and for nearly 16 years he's been trying to make up all the social interaction he's been craving through his one work friend or ignoring it and putting all his attention and time into me so he felt less lonely. This is why we talk. This is why we have conversations like this way earlier, because, yeah, he's lonely. He's tired. You know, he's burnt out because he's putting all his attention into you and your kid, and he has no outlet.
Yeah. Noticing this for years is crazy.
Yeah.
Notice a couple of like weeks.
And also, you know, even another factor in this is the fact that he's not from this country. Probably like his family might live in a different country. He doesn't have the same support system. There's totally different like cultural dynamics going on here with, I mean, even said like socially. So yeah, it's going to be really hard. When Diana was born, he put every last drop of effort into me and her, hardly stopping to relax, since any time he did, he was just reminded of the giant hole in his life. Through sobs, he admitted there had been many times he'd been tempted to drink or hurt himself just to forget about it, but never went through because he wanted to stay strong for his family and knew there was a history of heavy drinking in his family and couldn't bear the thought of losing himself to it. He explained how after putting so much focus onto his life, he completely crashed and just felt tired and lost all the time. And with how much Diana started to act out and how taxing it was to take care of her, he started thinking back to what his old friends had told him and wondered if this was what they'd been talking about. He was practically stumbling over himself, apologizing to me for letting them get into his head and letting himself blame and resent Diana and I for everything wrong in his life. At this point, he was having a hard time breathing and was hugging me so tightly I thought my spine would snap. It was so painful seeing him trying to keep his sobs quiet to avoid waking up Diana, despite the fact he was clearly spiraling, that I had to interrupt him. I know I said I wouldn't, but this is different. So he could calm down, because at that point he was going down a rabbit hole of guilt and regret and just apologizing over and over again. There's a lot more he told me about the state of his mental health at the moment, but just thinking about it makes me tear up, and I know I shouldn't, but I've been beating myself up for not noticing so much sooner how he felt. I can't help but think how horrible of a wife and partner I've been to not notice he's been drowning the whole time, and I didn't even think to ask him about his life or friends or anything. It was the longest talk we've had in the entirety of our relationship, and by the end of it, we were both crying and holding each other. I made sure he knew how much Diana and I loved him and appreciated everything he's done for us, and I told him how I'd be by his side every step of the way, and I would make sure he got the help he needed. It was the first time we'd snuggled so closely like we did that night in a while, and miraculously, he didn't toss or turn at all that night. I stayed up as long as I could, kissing his face and rubbing his back and making sure he felt loved, even long after he fell asleep. The next day, I asked him if he could call out of work for the day so we could just focus on each other, and made sure that everything we wanted to say was said, and he agreed. We spent the day bowling, eating at the local cafe, going to an ice cream shop, then going home to make dinner together and have another talk about next steps. We've agreed to start marriage counseling and also get him into individual therapy to see what's going on and to make sure he can recover from all the bad feelings and thoughts he's been having. Many people in the original post theorized he might be depressed, and after everything he's told me, I'm almost 100% sure that's the problem. We both picked Diana up from school and asked if she wanted to go play at the park, and she was very happy to. I let my husband take the lead and watched as the two played on the playground and chased each other in the grass. I hadn't seen him that happy and energized in a very long time, and it made my heart swell. On the car ride home, he sat in the back seat with her, and I played I Spy out the car window until Diana told me very excitedly how she was so happy Papa loved her again.
So wait, I'm sorry, did we not get in front of that at all? Like, it sounds like she was still thinking the whole time like her dad didn't love her.
The dad should have been like, hey, Daddy's been going through something really hard for a while, and you did nothing wrong. Like, it was not about you at all. That should have been the conversation we had immediately. I could practically hear my husband's heart shatter from the driver's seat, and he was quiet for a very long time before he just hugged her and didn't say a word the rest of the car ride home. Diana had a very guilty expression on her face seeing my husband get so sad, and I think my husband noticed because when we got home, he quickly excused himself to the bedroom for a second before coming back out, almost as happy as he had been at the park and trying to make Diana feel better. The rest of the day went smoothly, and as I was getting ready in the bathroom to go to bed, I heard my husband in the next room telling Diana how much he loved her and how he never hated her and never wanted her to think so. I could hear them reading a bedtime story while I waited in bed, and eventually my husband came into our room and got into bed with me. We talked a little bit more, and I told him how proud I was of him for how far he's come and how he's managed to survive before kissing him and getting him to cuddle me again, which took no convincing from my end. As I'm writing this, I'm lying in bed, and he's fallen asleep on my chest while snoring very loudly. I don't think I'm going to be able to get any sleep myself today, LOL. We made plans to go on a weekend getaway this week. Diana's going to stay with her cousins for the time being, which she's very excited about, since they have a pool and she loves to swim. I am forever grateful to everyone who decided to leave a comment and who helped me out through this, as I can only see our love growing stronger after this. My only regret is not having caught up years before this all happened, but there's nothing I can do about the past, and I'm going to just focus on repairing and rebuilding our marriage. My husband told me to tell you all, he says thank you for all the concern and for also slapping some sense into him about his behavior. And he made a joke about just taking our problems to Reddit every time instead of paying so much for counseling sessions. But you don't have to pay anything to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
That's right. And you will have the full force of our archive at your fingertips. Fire your therapist.
Yeah,
Fire your counselors. Don't actually do that. But hey, we are free,
it's true.
you know, for the most part. So, hey,
But there is a little bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
yeah, this is
Step in the right direction.
why we speak to one another. How did the wife not know we had no friends for years?
Yeah, it's like
Why did we not know anything about our partner's life?
both of you desperately need therapy, individual and counseling, because we got to be curious about our partners. If you're not noticing your partner hanging out with anyone, that's something we should address.
Well, it's just that line of, I've noticed you've been pulling away for years.
Yeah, for years. That's like maybe a couple weeks you've been noticing it, or like max month. Like, I've been noticing. Years, no.
You gotta get ahead of that.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to be in a marriage and you're going to be co-parenting together, you need to be able to talk to each other and share your emotion. You cannot afford to keep those to yourself.
Yeah, and also if your kid goes, Daddy hates me now, huh?
Yeah, you go, Daddy, go talk to her.
You gotta go immediately be like, no, Daddy doesn't hate you. Sometimes adults just have jobs. They don't like them. Daddy doesn't hate you. He might hate something else. He doesn't hate you.
Daddy does not hate you.
And even if Daddy does hypothetically hate Diana in that moment, you gotta tell Diana he doesn't.
Yeah, lie.
You gotta go, whoa, no one hates you, Diana.
Diana, no one could ever hate you. But there's a little bit left to this story. This is going to be the only update unless our house blows up or something. Thank you to everyone who took the time out of their day to read and listen. If you're going through something similar, I heavily advise you sit down with your significant other and get down to the root of the problem. Trust me, it'll do wonders for your relationship. Edit, I forgot to add this in, but he explained the reason he walked away when Diana was having a conversation with him was because he'd been really overwhelmed that day and felt like he was going to pass out, and in all honesty, she was starting to get on his nerves. He apologized to her about it and promised to never do it again. Diana was very sweet and understanding with them, and I'm very proud of both of them.
Yes,
I love that.
let's freaking go.
Yay. This is good. I mean, everyone out there, if you're in a relationship, talk about your feelings. If you notice a change in how the relationship was, like if it was great and then there's a big change in your partner's personality, address it. Say like, hey, what's going on? Especially if you have kids and your partner's, kind of not talking to your children.
That is true.
Be curious about your partner.
Yeah, we got to check in. Anytime, if you're in a relationship with someone for like years, they're going to change.
But that is the end of that story.
My husband confessed his undying love for his childhood sweetheart. Now we're going to meet.
Yeah, as one does when that happens.
Sure. Basically, this afternoon, my husband and I will be going to a tea house with, let's call her Susie, one of my husband's used to be best friends and unofficial high school sweetheart. The reason for them not being best friends anymore is simply that they grew apart as they went to college. No animosity whatsoever, and still a lot of love and appreciation. By the way, this comes from Throwaway 5419499, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. She texted him Sunday night out of the blue and said she'd like to finally be able to hang out with us, as we've said that we'll get to know each other several times, but never actually went through with it. But the date is on for today, and I'm very torn about how I feel about this. But now let me explain why I've come to you guys about this. I was with my high school sweetheart for 7 years, 7 pretty good years. We separated, and shortly afterwards, I met my now husband, and we immediately hit it off and became an item. My husband, let's call him John, he met Susie in middle school and immediately grew affectionate of her. Going into high school, he absolutely fell for her. He says that from the moment he woke up to the moment he closed his eyes to sleep, she was on his mind. He dreamed of her, dreamed of scenarios where he was married with her, where she was pregnant with his child, being intimate with her. He says that he dreamed of being with her because she needed someone to care for her, as she had trouble in school and had a health issue that she needed help with. He knew no guy would love and care for her as much as he would, and to this day, he claims that to be true. She, Susie, is his age, a very sweet, calm Christian girl who didn't have many friends growing up because she was always different and not self-obsessed like most teens. She was genuinely sweet, she cared deeply for others, and he just saw her in a light that no one could even touch. He says that in his teens he was too aggressive and emotional, and that's why he feels that she never accepted his invitations for a relationship. My husband, although honestly a very good-looking guy, he does have a very strong character. He is not tame or shy to say how he feels. He feels that he is a very intelligent person that makes bad decisions. He isn't a knucklehead or a wiener by any means, but he is a sweetheart and very emotional and caring of other people. Extremely caring. He says that he feels that she cared for him too because they were such good friends, but she never accepted him because of his very hormone-induced aggressive attitude. And since she's a sweet girl, she knew an attitude like this would be trouble. She would ask him for help with homework, and he would do anything for her because she was Susie, the girl that he knew he wanted to marry and grow old with, and he would do anything for her. And honestly, I believe him. I definitely believe that she is the person that he says she is. I truly believe that she is a rare gem with a heart of gold. I've seen the girl in her profile through his Facebook, and she looks like a girl with a good head on her shoulders and a sweet, innocent, caring girl. Everything he says, I don't deny. But my issue is he's expressed to me in between conversations about alternate scenarios and how things would have played out. That if she would tell him that she had feelings for him and loved him, that would change everything in his heart. She is the exception for everything. He still says, no one would have cared for her like I would. She needs care. I would have had a happy life with her. Around November, he asked me to respond to one of her text messages while he was playing Black Ops, I think, and I responded and scrolled up. I know, terrible human being. I read messages where he asked her why she never went for him, complimented her, and said something like, Susie, you know I've always thought you were very pretty. And she said something cute, something that I guess he found endearing, and simply responded with her name and a sweet emoji. That destroyed me because that told me more than I wanted to know. I knew he felt for her. I knew he always would, but to read it, it spun me around. So that weekend, driving back to our hometown, I asked him very casually about her and exes and stuff like that. And I remember vividly listening to the soundtrack for The Last of Us, which just bummed me out more. He told me that he had been dreaming about her and thinking about her, and he felt those love feelings coming back. That's when he told me that no one would love or care for her like him. He also said that he would leave a relationship he was in just to be with her. How do you respond to that? Opie says. How do you compete with that? He noticed it made me quiet for the rest of the weekend, but I couldn't get that off of my mind. He noticed and comforted me on Sunday and said that he was happy with me and wouldn't leave something that is already established. So that's simply not what you said. That's quite the opposite, actually.
I would never leave I would never leave you in this situation we've already established.
Yeah.
Because Susie doesn't want it.
Yes, exactly.
So as long as Susie doesn't want me, we're fine.
Yeah. So I didn't mention the messages. I never did, even though I want to blurt it out when it comes up. But it all cooled off a little, and that was left at that. I left it at that too, because because it makes me literally sick to my stomach when I think about stuff like that. It makes me sick, so I try not to dwell on it for my own good, and also because I probably over-exaggerate and it's all in my head. Then he lets her know that we're moving back to our hometown, and she says that she wants to meet me, finally, and that we should get together. We come back, and in between all the moving and work and whatnot, well, we never actually did. But he texted her randomly last week, and she replied, and they exchanged brief pleasantries. Sunday night, however, she texts him and says that she wants to meet me soon and sends him her work schedule and the days that she has off. She asks when we can get together. My husband, very excitedly, screenshots the text and let me know that it's all up to me. So I say, let's do it Tuesday after work. Tuesday comes, he gets a haircut, showers, cleans the truck since we're going to pick her up. She texts him around 7 and she can't make it because they extended her hours at work, and he gets noticeably bummed out. But because we were already counting on having dinner, I told him, hey, let's go out anyways, just you and me. So we do. I jokingly tell him to cheer up and that he'll have a date with her soon. He says he hopes so. He keeps texting her, but they've kind of texted for a while now, so no surprise. But something in him changed. He jokes around about her and him, and when I joke around, I should say, in quotes, joke around, about them two finally working out, his responses worry me. I told him Monday, imagine she told you that she has feelings for you. He said, what would you do if she told me that? Avoiding the question. And, well, I didn't have an answer.
Yeah, because it's not about me, dude. It's about you.
Yeah.
Look, but when you know that the answer to these questions, OP, you know that the answer to these questions is I'm leaving you for Susie, get out. Get out of the relationship.
Absolutely.
I've had to literally say this to someone before.
Really? Ugh.
But I haven't been pretending. I was like, literally, this probably won't make it in anyway, so it doesn't matter. I was like, literally, this person could walk into my life and be like, let's get married, and I would immediately say yes. So I'm not in a place where I can date.
Yeah.
Because that's just not how that works.
Much less get married to someone.
Yeah.
Like, no. I told him, I know that if she told you she loved you, that's it. It's case closed in your heart. He didn't deny it. He just stayed quiet. And he asked me what I would do. I just stayed quiet because what can I do again? When I express concern, he just says, I'm very dramatic and I'm making things up. Yesterday, I asked him, what if we can't have kids? Should we adopt? And I crap you not. He said, well, then maybe Susie and me can have a baby and you and your ex could have one, and laughed.
I would be so far out the door.
Yeah. What?
These are not thoughts that you have when you're okay in your relationship.
No. Like he's just straight up, like, I would call this emotional cheating, kinda, or at least like on its way to that. Just straight up like in front of her and so unashamed.
Well, it's like you said, it's the exact thing of like being like, if a celebrity be like, if Ryan Gosling walked over and said he loved me, I'd leave you right now.
Sure.
And it's like, oh yeah, if Ryan Gosling said he loved you, but then it's be like, yeah, if Sarah from my high school walked in and said she loved me right now, I'd leave you. Then it's like well, Sarah from high school lives 10 minutes away.
Yeah. It's like,
you know her.
Right.
What?
Because then the question is like, okay, things didn't work out in high school, but you like, if this is still a feeling that you've had, how much time has gone by where things still didn't work out? And like, what have you been doing in that time? Like, how were you pursuing her? Have you given it another shot? Because it sounds like it can happen. He laughed, and when he noticed I didn't, he said, I'm just kidding, cutie pie. Yes, we should adopt. I just looked down because I mean, it's soul crushing. It's playing around, yeah, but I'm not an idiot. This indirect joking about her and him that he's making, it's unaliving me, but I have to pretend that it's not.
No, you don't.
No,
See, that's the other problem is you don't need to do that. You can be like,
absolutely.
Hey, this is one of the most wild things a partner has ever just said to me.
Yeah.
Thinking that it's nothing unusual.
Right.
What is going on?
I showed him a picture of a girl on Instagram that he's always thought is gorgeous and hot, and he said, nah, I don't have spicy related feelings for other girls. And I said, well, John, you've always liked her. So then who do you have spicy related feelings for? You already know that response. The whole night I have trouble sleeping because this date feels like I'm walking into my funeral. I wake up and lo and behold, he lets me know that he didn't sleep until 2 because he was texting Susie all night and they were arguing about religion. He is an atheist and she's very much not. He told me that she asked him if they could talk about it over the phone since it's easier than through text. He tells her no, I'm asleep in bed next to him. He also lets me know that she's told him that he's her best friend and only friend. All of this tonight, one day before we all met up. Out of nowhere, she wants to see him and me this week, desperately trying to find a time to talk. Then tells him that he's all she's got. What? It's over for me. I lost. I'm here because when I separated from my ex-boyfriend, I lost all my friends. I was left with not one of them. They were all guys and my ex-boyfriend kept them. Because I had been with my ex-boyfriend all throughout high school, I did have girlfriends, yes, but they all went their separate ways after graduation. And the group that was my ex-boyfriend and the guys, we stayed together. After the breakup, they texted me once in a while, but to avoid problems with my ex-boyfriend, they never reached out to me to invite me or anything. Everybody I trusted, I lost at the drop of a hat. I have just my parents, my pets, and my husband. And I don't tell my relationship problems to my parents because I just don't see that being a good idea. I don't want them to hate him because he has a side to all of this too, so I avoid telling them issues with him unless he's in the room to present his side. My parents are very reasonable and understandable, so they call me out on my crap too, which is why I trust their response. I know that I'll get a direct one, not a biased one. So that leaves me with nobody to vent to, and sometimes I feel like screaming in fits of anger and crying because I have no one to talk to. I know that I need to make friends, but it hasn't been easy with the moving and the new relationship and work. Plus, I'm not the most socially adaptable person. I have trouble feeling comfortable around people. It takes me a while. I've thought about this so much that I've thought that maybe I should step aside and let them be. I'm being dramatic because she hasn't professed her feelings for him, and who knows, maybe she doesn't have them. But everything points to this. All she has to do is talk to him, and he's back in dummy mode over her. I can't compete with the sweetest girl in the world, the damsel in distress. If she's a good person, maybe he does deserve her. Maybe they should be together. And I know she is. But dang it, I love him. I worked hard at our relationship. Nothing about it has been easy. I put half as much effort. It's not fair. She had her chance and she rejected it. And now she's coming back into his life and all he needs is even the slightest hint of interest in him. The slightest, and yeah, he'll physically be with me, but his heart will forever be gone. But it's not fair. I put in the effort. I reciprocated his feeling. I try to be as loving and understanding and trusting as I could be. I'm new to this. I'm just trying to be a good wife. I love my husband, but I can feel him slipping away. And that leads me to my conclusion. If when I go today to the date, I see her looking at him, and if I see what I'm afraid I'll see, what do I do? I'm still wondering how I'm gonna stomach it if the chemistry is there. Plus, my husband isn't very good at hiding feelings. He's very outpouring. I want him for me because dang it, that's why I got married. But what's the point if his heart dwells too much on her? I could never compare to his idea of her. No girl could ever. And I'll just be betraying myself if I keep him knowing where his heart truly stands. By the way, your heart could stand with us if you join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. We'll be there for you with full episodes and more stories just like this one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and there is a little bit more to the story, but she knows what she needs to do.
I think one thing clearly I've been championing, don't be married to a man who's clearly in love with someone else. But I don't know if you've actually expressed any of these thoughts you've put into your Reddit post to your husband, which you shouldn't have to do, and your husband shouldn't have to be told that, saying I would leave anyone for this woman except you, I guess, but anyone else on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And it's first you got to get this out there in the open. You got to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on. I feel like you should already know this, but here it is.
Yep.
And if he can't change at all, it's there's nothing to do. It's you're in love with this woman.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have married me. I shouldn't have married you.
Absolutely. It sucks that you love him. Guess what? You can find someone else. You can find another love. That's possible. So just walk away. It'll be much better for you in the long run because he clearly doesn't love you as much as you love him. So that sucks. But pill you gotta swallow.
It's a conversation first, then
sure.
If nothing is, if nothing happens out of that, because you can't I will never condone to just leave a situation without actually putting your cards on the table first.
Yeah.
I think you always need to lay it out there first.
Okay.
And then get out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you think a conversation could save the relationship, or?
I just think it's impossible to say whether or not a situation is insalvageable or needs to be until you're talking.
Yeah.
Until you're talking about how you're feeling about it with your actual partner, there's something to be done.
Yeah, I feel like she's tried to talk about it.
It's even like just catharsis of like, hey, this is how I've been feeling and how I feel now.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, at the very least. Like it just needs to be said.
Yeah. But there is a little bit more to the story. So after all this, I feel a little better. I'm not even sure this will get responses. I kind of doubt it because it's so dang long, but I don't know what to do. I feel lost. I feel like a doofus who's making a big deal out of nothing. I feel defeated, but mostly betrayed because I've done so much for him. And yet I have a feeling that if I tell him that, he'll tell me that no one has done as much as what she's done for him in his heart. Thank you for reading, strangers. I just needed an ear. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I know a lot of important details are absent. I just don't want to make it longer than it is. Comment number 1 says, reading this post breaks my heart. You're so young, and to see someone settle for another person that has told them that they'd leave them in a heartbeat for some high school crush is worrying. I personally couldn't be in a relationship where I felt like a placeholder. Comment number 2 says, you act like this is all normal. This isn't normal. A husband telling his wife that another woman is and always will be first in his heart? That is absolutely soul crushing and terrible. If my husband did such a thing to me, I would be heartbroken. And that's putting it lightly, which obviously sounds like you are. I am not a fan of ultimatums, but I think this calls for one. He keeps putting this woman on a pedestal and hurting you. He needs to cut contact with this woman. He isn't friends with her. He's in love with her. That is disrespectful to you and unhealthy to say the least. Do you really want to be in a marriage where you are always wondering if he's thinking about her? Wondering if he is wishing he was with her instead of you? Because that is a situation you're living in right now. And that is heck. And if you do decide to ask him to cut contact with her, I would sit him down and ask him how he would feel if you told him another man would always be the love of your life. That you would do anything for this other man, even drop any relationship you were in. How would he feel if all you did was text all day, every day with this other man? And I would definitely come clean about the inappropriate, flirty text that you saw. Not only has he put her on a pedestal, but you have too. You think that she is perfect and sweet and nice. A nice, sweet woman would not allow another married man to text her the things that your husband has been texting her. My best friend is a man, and he never talks to me like that. We are both only friends and respectful of each other's significant others. Someone responds, nice, sweet women also don't text other women's husbands until 2 a.m. I feel bad for OP, but it's aggravating to see her being so passive about this. Someone else responds, I think it's mostly because she sees her husband as a nice, sweet man, close to perfection, but he is not. He's a child who can't forget about a crush, who thinks this is the destined woman of his life, even if she rejected him, and who puts his silly dream above the woman that he vowed to love for life. Wake up, OP. Your husband is nothing close to what you think he is. Another comment says, walk away. I'm serious. I know it will be hard, but he has flat out told you that he would leave you for her and is in the process of reconnecting in an emotional way with her. I would bet you're going to get a we should try a poly or open relationship, etc. from him and possibly her. Even with her dedicated Christianity, I could see that happening. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. 23. She's 23? Did we know that?
You've got so much more life ahead of you.
My goodness.
Don't worry about it. Leave this guy before you waste any more time with a...
Yes.
He wants Susie.
Yes. Another comment says, call off dinner. Tell your husband that he can't seriously expect you to sit down and make nice with a woman that he's outright told you that he'd be prepared to leave you for. And that you can't understand why he's willing to just let this play out if he values your marriage even the slightest bit. Ask him to cut off contact with Susie at least until this has been resolved. Although, frankly, he should be prepared to make it permanent if he can't keep the conversation from straying into what might have been and come with you to counseling. If he insists on going alone, well, then you've got some choices to make, but none of them need to involve martyring yourself because you see no other alternative. And that is the end of that story. Just, let it happen. Let him go to Susie, and if she rejects him again, good.
Yeah, so if you're married and your partner is like... I'm so in love with this other person who's not you.
Yeah.
I'd probably leave you for them.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
This is like not even a red flag. This is like the sky has turned red from some sort of evil thing happening.
It's the Red Sea.
The Red Sea. Everything in your life, you've got red sunglasses on, not rose-colored ones. They're just straight up red.
This story is being sang to you by the rapper Redman.
That is the end of that story.
My wife demands me to clean the house for hours. I'm sick of it.
I'm sick and tired.
My wife was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years before our daughter started preschool regularly. Then she worked part-time and went back to graduate school, both online from home. She worked as a part-time teacher for an online school, and her graduate school was online. She did that for 2 years and then looked for better work and has been working full-time for about 6 months. Our daughter, who's now 6, is in 1st grade. By the way, this comes from user sick of cleaning up. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. My wife has, in my opinion, ridiculous cleanliness standards for our house. She was very hard on herself when she was stay at home and made sure everything was spick and span. Dinner was always something freshly cooked. She refused to use something like a crock pot or easy meal. She refused to let me get maid service even when she was in graduate school working and minding a toddler most of the day. Our daughter did do preschool from 2 to 4, more and more time at preschool each year, but my wife still had her for some days, or at least part of the day. She worked her butt off. Our house always looked amazing, like something out of a magazine. When I could see she was overworked or still working on chores when I got home, I tried to talk to her about help or having more reasonable expectations, but she wouldn't hear. I did try to pitch in a bit, but I just can't stand doing too many chores, especially if things are basically clean. I mean, I'll do dishes or I'll cook, but I can't be asked to dust the little borders at the bottom of the wall weekly. Who does that? Is that really something everyone worries about? I am a middle manager at an engineering company. Really decent money, not the greatest job in the world. I preferred being an engineer, honestly, but the management stress was definitely worth the pay bump since my daughter has been born. It lets me provide for my family. I would be fine with my wife working or staying home and never pressed her to do more. She is very driven and hard on herself. I don't see why she needed to work and go to graduate school, but she wanted an income that at least paid for schooling since her program was expensive. That's basically all it paid for in those 2 years, but that's fine. I would have gladly paid out of our fund money and scrimped for her. So the conflict here is now that my wife is working full time. She still wants to keep the house up to the same standard, but she wants to give me a laundry list of chores to do basically every single day and all day Saturday. I don't mean she wants me to pitch in a little. When I asked her for a time estimate, she said maybe 20 hours a week. I think this is ridiculous, Reddit. Seriously. And yeah, that is a little ridiculous.
20 hours a week for cleaning? When you have a kid and a full-time job? I won't do that. I'm sorry. If I was OP, I'm not going to do that.
I think the problem here is in our execution. Are we cleaning with the microscopic lens that goes down to the molecular level and we're, because that's a little too much. If it's taking us 20 hours a week to clean, we're cleaning wrong.
Yeah.
I've suggested things like crock-pot meal solutions, getting a maid service if we really need it, and maybe cutting back on vacuuming once weekly or cutting out some non-essential chores except doing them maybe monthly or quarterly. I don't want to live in squalor. I pick up after myself. I can cook a meal, wash dishes, wipe down a counter. I understand dust and mildew shouldn't be in the house and that the pink mold in the bathroom must be guarded against. I don't want to be a pig, but I feel my wife's standards are just too imposing. I will add, this isn't about parenting. I'm very involved as a parent and my wife would agree on that. While she was the primary caregiver because she could stay at home, I have always made sure my wife had kid-free time, and Sunday is daddy day where my daughter and I always do something fun together, in or out of the house, and give my wife the afternoon to herself if she wants it. She sometimes wants to tag along, and that's fine too. The thing is, she's really mad about this because she's kept up these standards for so long on her own, and she feels like I'm not her partner. Do I just have to suck it up and lose the majority of my free time a week on chores, or is there some better way to talk to her? I'll give in if I'm really in the wrong here, but I just feel there has to be some kind of compromise. I'll say that my wife often uses her free time to clean, even if I insist otherwise. So, like the Sunday afternoons I insist she has free, if she doesn't join us, she will often clean more or do an errand. I wish she would take some time for herself, but she just doesn't choose to very often. There's an edit. Can people also share what they view as normal household cleaning? I want to make sure I'm not just being an ignorant slob. Okay, we've got the list now. So we're gonna get a peek into
Let's see it.
the cleaning the daily cleaning list. Here's today's list, and the same every other Friday when I'm off. Keep in mind this off time is earned by working 10-hour days every day of the 9 days I do work each 2 weeks, not like a bonus. I only worked 30 hours this week. Okay, here's the reasonable chores. Laundry for the whole household seems to be about 6 loads for the week, including towels, hand towels, sheets, blankets, blah blah blah, as well as all 3 of our clothes, and then a few dry clean in bag loads for her stuff. My dry clean stuff goes to an actual cleaner, as do some of hers. Prepare dinner for tonight. She left a specific recipe, which is like a 2-hour affair, which is a bit meh when I could have made something simpler, but I'm home, so I get this to an extent. The Clean the kitchen by wiping down counters, cleaning the microwave. Soup did explode in it recently, so it looks dirty. Cleaning stove and burners, etc. There are other things on the kitchen list that seem less reasonable, like she wants the oven cleaned every other week with baking soda and a scrub down. This seems like an annual thing to me, not like an every other week thing. And the whole refrigerator cleaned out and scrubbed every other week.
Yeah, because I feel like if you're a stay-at-home parent and you don't have much else to do besides like hang out with the kid, take care of the kid, and like do schoolwork and stuff, and if you don't have any hobbies, I'd probably be cleaning all the time too. If that was all I had to do and I didn't have any other interests or
Just
things to spend my time.
Clean.
Yeah, I would totally do that. But guess what? That's not the most important thing to me.
I got more stuff, man.
Got other things.
Even cleaning out the burner pans doesn't seem like something you do every other week to me, but whatever. Also, all the cupboards and cabinets, no bleach in the kitchen except for the floor, of course. Vacuuming the house, this would be reasonable, except she just had me do it Monday. Changing the linens in the guest bedroom, whatever, seems weird, but not time consuming. Things that seem less reasonable, using the deep carpet clean machine after vacuuming for the second or third time this week. I think she vacuumed once too. Leather cleaning the leather couches in the sitting room. There are instructions that look horrifying for this. Bleach cleaning the floors, 2 bathrooms, 1 kitchen, 2 patio, back and front with the scrub brush. Dusting the whole house, including moving furniture and getting every baseboard. There's about a page worth of dusting instructions. And by the way, I have instructions for you to go listen to full episodes of stories just like this on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on iHeartRadio. Wherever you listen to podcasts, just search OK Storytime. And I think we have a fair chunk of story left, and we're only halfway through. Yeah, I'm getting the sense that maybe the cleaning is a little extreme.
Yeah, I'm feeling that way too. Maybe she's got some sort of control problem. Maybe she's got some sort of like health anxiety problem, something like that. I don't know.
So I think this is a great situation for compromise,
Yes.
right? We
Yes.
go to our wife and we say, hey, I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
And here's what I'm down to do. Here's
Right.
what I'll be doing.
Right.
I think you should get over the vacuuming, buddy. Vacuum all the time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Vacuuming twice a week is not abnormal. Doing the deep cleaning carpet thing every 2 weeks, though, that is a little abnormal.
Yeah.
Leather treating your couch is normal. Not every week, it's not, but, I don't know. Moving furniture to get dust, also kind of normal. Having to dust the entirety of the house every week, though,
Not quite
not
normal.
super normal. That's maybe like a once a month type
Yeah.
deal.
Having to clean out your fridge and your cabinets
Twice a month.
maybe.
Well, no, that's what they're doing.
Oh.
They're doing
I
every
thought
2
that was
weeks.
weekly.
Every
Oh,
2
okay.
weeks, they're scrubbing out the whole fridge. Every 2 weeks, they're...
Like, it's got to be some sort of like, oh, she's worried about being unhealthy, or when they have people over, she's worried about being judged for like not being clean. Because like a lot of these things, like I get it, they do build up, and so if you take care of it, like every now and then like you won't, it won't be that bad once you just like leave it alone. But like, what a waste of time if it's not that
Truly
big of a deal to like
complete waste
have
of
it
time.
a tiny bit like messy or have it build up a little bit. Then like you can do deep cleans a little bit like once things build up, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I thought OP was gonna be so wrong in this, and they're totally like not in the wrong at all, really.
No, yeah. We support you, OP.
Yeah. And then there are things I do without her asking, like the dishwasher was run last night, so I already put away dishes, took out the trash this morning, I cleaned up a few stray shoes on the floor, I made the bed when she left for work. Of course, she's gonna be pissed if I don't get it all done because I was on Reddit, but I honestly feel overwhelmed. I plan to get at least the laundry, dinner, and kitchen done. And there's some comments. Let's see what they have to say for this poor soul. Comment 1, just a quick note to add to other advice here. Some of her chores are actually damaging. Like what you're doing to the carpet by over vacuuming will wear it down. The leather cleaning will wear it faster. Scrubbing wood floors with a brush too often will damage the finish. This is a really good point and goes for the bathrooms too. If you have grout, the more you clean, the more you need to seal it to prevent penetration of water and other substances, which causes deep mold growth that isn't always readily apparent. If you have granite or stone tile, that's the same advice. Sealants, finishes, and caulking, and a lot of natural surfaces and fibers, which are expensive to repair or replace, are incredibly vulnerable to overcleaning. A second comment says, a couple of ideas. First, ask her to prioritize her list from what she considers the most important to least important. Then tell her you will do the top 3 or 5 things from the list. 2, ask for a compromise on the frequency. Unless you have multiple pets or a confetti machine, there's really no need to vacuum 3 times a week. If your daughter has severe allergies or something, maybe, but realistically, most people just vacuum once per week. Same thing with cleaning bathrooms. A deep clean once on the weekends and then have some disinfecting wipes on the toilet tank. For quick messes, you can just wipe up anytime they happen. I even do one bathroom on Saturday and then one bathroom on Wednesday day so I don't feel like I'm doing all the cleaning on the weekends. 3, impress upon her your understanding that you need to be an equal partner, but that doesn't mean you both view cleaning in the same way. What might be her minimum cleanliness standards don't have to be yours, and that you both need to meet somewhere in the middle and work towards that together. 4, also let her know how important your free time is to you. Your daughter is not going to grow up and wish she had spent more time cleaning with you. As the daughter of a mother who was a bit OCD about cleaning, let me assure you that this is a fact. She will have wished she spent more time one-on-one with both of you doing fun things. Maybe remind her of this. Keep the priorities straight. There will always be time for tidying up, but your daughter is going to grow up in the blink of an eye, and you don't get that time back. Good luck, OP. Comment 3, oh, you guys definitely need a cleaning lady. I haven't cleaned a bathroom in 2 years. When I started looking for recommendations, I was surprised to find out pretty much all my friends who work had one. I always thought I was just a lazy slob. That's what I would fight for if I were you. Then she gets the clean house she wants, and you both get free time. Additional questions from OP. Serious question. Is it fair for me, OP, to have like 5 or 10 hours a week to myself to do something I personally enjoy as a hobby as well? Or is that too much to expect as a husband and dad? It's usually closer to 5 than 10, but sometimes on the weeks I get Fridays off, I have had 10 before. I understand if I don't get the time because it's the holidays or my daughter is sick. I'm not a stickler, but I feel like some hobby time for me in the week is reasonable, and my wife doesn't really agree with that because she doesn't take any for herself, though I try to afford her the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, that's totally unreasonable. You should not have any hobbies.
I think your wife is confusing her own decisions to spend her time doing what could be considered work
Yeah.
with this is what you should spend your time doing as well.
Yeah, exactly.
She's deciding to use her extra time to do
Yeah.
more cleaning.
Yeah.
You don't have to. People are allowed to have hobbies.
Yep.
Parents, husbands, they, guess what? Spend time doing things that aren't chores or work.
Yes, please. Please.
It sounds like your wife's hobby is cleaning and she's trying to rope you into it. Put your foot down and don't let her walk all over you. This is her problem. If you have trouble getting in the time, why not have a father-daughter hobby hour on Sunday? She can color and you can do your hobby thing and your wife can clean, LOL. OP says, I think my wife cannot relax and enjoy herself in something she considers not productive, if there's something productive to do. So my hobby time has been a bit of a point of contention sometimes due to her seeing productive things that could be done. But instead, I want some free time. On Sundays, I really like to do things with a full focus on my daughter. I consider parenting a very important responsibility, so I wouldn't sacrifice that daddy-daughter time for hobby time, though sometimes my daughter and I will play games together. Usually, my daughter gets choices throughout the week. She also has a special sticker chart where she gets extra special trips or treats on Sundays if she's earned them through good grades or good behavior, etc. Reply, if your daughter is 6, why doesn't she have chores that she needs to do throughout the week and weekends? Little things, but chores. It might help loosen your wife up. What are you talking about? Conscripting the child into being a chore lackey is not going to ease anyone up.
When she's 6? What's she going to do when she's 6?
Well, I mean, 6-year-olds can learn how, you should
Sure.
be teaching your kids how to clean.
Sure. But I think giving her chores, it's like,
She's a kid.
yeah, like maybe have her clean her own things, but clean up after herself, clean up little things here and there. But I feel like chores are usually assigned when you want something done.
Yeah.
But if you're going to assign them to a 6-year-old, don't expect them to be done
6-year-old
right.
chores needs to be make a peanut butter and jelly and clean up.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
we did it.
Put all your toys back in their little toy box.
Yeah, those are the 6-year-old chores.
Yeah.
Some of the most fun I've had cleaning is with my 2-year-old. He loves to sweep and wash windows and pick things up and help in any way he can. He gets furious if you don't let him start the washer and dryer. He's very handy and he's only 2. My 6-year-old doesn't do many chores, but he lives with his dad most of the time. But when he's with us, I can say he cleans up and I will say, hey, clean up this, and he will do it. It's a huge stress relief, knowing there are more hands to help, meaning less for me to do. Might want to bring it up as an option. Also, kids are brutal about what they think is clean or not clean, so they may be closer to your views on it, and your daughter might help your wife see that most people see it as clean, even if she doesn't, and that it doesn't have to be Pinterest ready at the drop of a hat. OP says, our daughter has chores like cleaning her room, picking up after herself, and making her bed, but she's not allowed near the cleaning supplies as they're all a bit toxic for a 6-year-old. Yeah, and that is the end of that story.
Wow.
Dude, get a maid.
Yeah.
End of the day, if you can afford a cleaning service,
Yeah.
I would just do that, and that solves everyone's problems.
If we've got these standards, honestly, just do that. And if she wants it extra, then that's her hobby and she can do that.
Yep. I refused to share my gift cards with my husband, and it set him on edge.
Yeah, no gift cards for you, Buster.
I, 33 female, work in one of the care industries. While I do work for an actual company, sometimes the clients who use the services of the company are so grateful for the level of care that an individual employee may give to their loved one that they feel moved to give us gifts for our efforts. These gifts can range anywhere from a bouquet of flowers to homemade or store-bought treats, gift cards, etc. By the way, this comes from user Barry Ashit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, anytime I get delicious treats from a client,
Delicious treats.
I always share them with my husband, 33 male. However, if I come home with gift cards like a $25 Amazon card or a $50 Visa card, my husband wants me to share those as well.
No.
No, husband.
No.
One time, I came home with 4 gift cards, Target, Visa, and 2 Amazon cards. When he saw them, he started talking about how I need to share them since no one gets him gifts for his work.
Oh,
He works in construction.
boo-hoo. I don't care.
He moped about it, and I do love him. He works hard. And I gave him one of my Amazon gift cards and insisted on keeping the other ones for myself since these are gifts from clients I work with for the care of their loved ones. Recently, I've been given gift cards again, and when he saw them, he asked what I planned on getting with them. So I told him, and the items I plan on getting will be strictly for me, and he scoffed at that. He started complaining again about why I should share or get something that benefits both of us. We went back and forth for a bit. I reminded him that I always spend my own money for things that benefit us both or that we can both enjoy, and that when I use these gift cards, I always get something I can't always afford with my own money. He kept insisting that I share. He brought up the fact that it wasn't fair that even though I shared an Amazon gift card with him before, he ended up with nothing because Amazon messed up his order and he never received his item, but he got a refund.
Then use the money. You got a refund. Use that money.
Knock, knock, knock.
Hello?
Is that hello? Did our brain leak out of our ears?
He's like, I got the money back, but I don't want to have to order it again.
Yeah. I told him that was not my fault at all. And at that point, I got really annoyed and told him to leave me alone. He made a comment about me not being raised to share. I'm an only child.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, you have awakened the defensive gene. I got mad and told him that's the sibling mentality and only works with parents and their kids. Get over yourself. And I walked off. He gave me a little side eye.
And also, his comparison is not even accurate because, again, this is like if a younger sibling said, I want one of your birthday presents. Even a parent would be like, no.
I kind of feel bad about it all, but honestly, I just want my gift to be mine. I work with a new set of clients every few months, so this is a frequent occurrence. Is there a better way I can respond or handle it better in the future? And there's some extra context. We are not exactly well off, but bills are always paid and our fridge is always full. We can afford to treat ourselves once a month and we always treat ourselves together, or we don't leave each other out. But if we want to get ourselves something really nice, like a set of weights or a nail art / care kit, then it is a sacrifice the other one does not benefit from. So we put purchases like that on the back burner for a while. We have gifted each other just because in the past as well.
Exactly. Like, this proves it. She's still getting him gifts. Again,
Yeah.
she's still sharing all of the treats that she gets. She already bought him something with the Amazon gift card. It's just the fact that he's insisting that she share her gifts.
For more context, we are 50-50 in the sense that he covers a set of bills and I cover a set of bills. Not that we both take money from our accounts and put it together for all bills. We honestly live paycheck to paycheck and make just enough to have all our needs covered. Any wants instead of needs, we both discuss with each other.
Okay.
But we rarely, and I mean rarely, stop each other from getting something we want. There's another edit here. The $50 Visa thing is a very rare occurrence. I've only gotten one once. I'm only getting maybe 1 or 2 gift cards every 6 months to a year.
Oh, that's even more so like a birthday gift.
Right.
That's even more so like a gift.
It's not like these are coming in once a week.
Yeah.
Not,
Which I didn't think
yeah.
they were. It didn't sound like that, but like now we have confirmation that they aren't.
Yeah. Not anywhere near monthly. The last time I got 4 gift cards was in February of this year, and only 2 of them were the $25 Amazon cards. One of them I gave to my husband. The other 2 I kept were $10 at Target and $10 at Starbucks. It's been 9 months since I last got a gift, and this time I only got 2. What we got into it about is one $25 Amazon gift card. The other one is Starbucks, and he hates Starbucks and doesn't even care about that one. And there are comments.
I don't know.
Girl, you guys are fighting over a $25 gift card?
But she's already given him a gift card, to be clear, has just confirmed that these aren't regular occurrences, has gotten a couple over the course of a year. Like Bug says, I feel like that changes things because he's living poor and sees her living lavishly. I don't think she's living lavishly. I think she bought a nail kit and maybe another thing.
It's a couple of gift cards every 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, like I don't think she's at all living lavishly. I think she's gotten maybe 4 gift cards over the course of a year, and gave him one because he asked. And now he's demanding more of them. Like, that doesn't compute to me.
Comments. Please be nice, comments. Comment 1, stop showing him the dang gift cards. Reply, yes, please stop showing him already. He clearly can't handle it. It's okay to want to enjoy the gifts that are meant for you. Lie to your husband. OP says...
Lie to him. Lie to your husband.
OP says...
Because he can't be a big boy and handle it. Lie.
I can't handle the gift cards. OP, sometimes it's not a matter of him seeing the actual gift card. It's him seeing the new item that he knows I wouldn't just buy with my own money without discussing it with him first.
Where did that come from? Did it come from one of those dang gift cards?
Money is tight, but not overwhelmingly so. And because of that, we both always give each other heads up when we decide to get something we want and not something we need for survival. Last month, a new Spider-Man game came out and I straight told him I would get it for him and he can go ahead and get it because I know it's something that will bring him joy. He will do the same for me. Comment 2 says, do you have to buy him a gift on your birthday too? Yeesh.
That's what it sounds like.
Does he get jealous when he doesn't get to blow out the candles?
That's what I said. What I said.
Hey, those are my jokes.
I made those jokes.
Stop making my jokes.
At least I made them first.
There's an update.
Woo.
Let's get into it.
Woo.
Okay. I didn't think any financial details were relevant to a situation about gift cards, so I'll clarify that. My husband works in construction, and I work in a care industry that is not medical. Ooh, in fact, in the field I work in, it is customary in the U.S. to give gifts to the workers during a designated appreciation week.
Are you a teacher?
Or during Christmas holidays.
Is this, yeah, so people are saying childcare?
I don't know. So I only get gifts twice a year, more than 6 months apart usually, but the most gift cards I've ever gotten was 4. But the value of those gift cards don't usually amount to more than maybe $50. The rest are usually skincare gifts or food items.
Which she shares.
Right, which she shares. The one time I got a $50 gift card, we went to an expensive restaurant with it. Yeah, so that's a shared experience.
Again, she's sharing all of these. He just wants her to give him everything.
For the record, my husband and I do not celebrate birthdays and holidays.
What? Oh, well, I guess
this-
if you're living, paycheck to paycheck.
And this is
Understandable.
a mutual decision between both of us. We have no children. We consider ourselves 50-50, but it goes like this. My husband makes more than I do. He takes on all utility bills, including internet and cell phone, health insurance, car insurance. I inherited a house that needs repairs. There's no mortgage, but there is a home repair loan I pay monthly, and I pay the car note for a car I purchased. Since the home belongs to me, I choose the responsibility of saving for property taxes. After we're done paying our bills with our own separate accounts, we usually have a few $100s left in our individual accounts. We put that together and use that to buy groceries, bath, and home essentials. We treat ourselves once a month. We share almost every interest and hobby. So say if one person wants to go into the comic book store as a treat, we both walk out with comics. If one wants to buy a video game, that's cool because we're both gamers. Or we take a drive to the beach, go see a movie, go out to dinner, etc. Let's go to the beach. We're not rich, but we can afford to get takeout twice a week. We try not to. We treat each other and gift each other when we can. I'm fortunate enough to have clothes given to me by family members that happen to shop at expensive department stores. The clothes are nice, barely worn, or will even still have tags on them. I actually love this since my family's very fashionable and only gives me good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually love this
I
because...
actually love getting free clothes that's designer.
Yeah, crazy.
What? No, OP, you're the a-hole for loving that. Freak.
are you?
Who are you?
My name is
crazy?
OP. I like free stuff that looks good.
Mm.
Ooh. I have absolutely no problem with this.
What? You freak! Burn the witch!
You weirdo. Ugh. Gross. Anytime I find clothes that have touched another person, I just throw it away. It's trash to me. I wear my shirts one day, I throw them away. I have 15 copies of everything I wear.
I'm definitely not wearing anything secondhand right now. Not my whole outfit. Mm. Ooh.
Since I get clothes for free, I often buy my husband clothes, especially since he wears them out faster. He would take clothes from others if he could, but there are no men in his family or mine his size. We're not perfect, but we honestly don't argue. Any disagreements we have, we can either talk it out or agree that it's not serious enough to get too deep into. I recently got a couple of Starbucks. Okay, just really pause really quick. Just have to say this.
Yeah.
If you and your husband are getting testy over $25, which at this point, I don't really know if it's the money or if it's the principle behind it.
The principal?
I'm leaning towards
I
principle.
think it's the principal.
But like, if you're being given like a bunch of designer clothes that are in good condition, like, flip that. If your family's giving you designer,
well, I think she wants to wear them.
sell the designer.
I think she wants to wear them.
You don't have to sell all of it. But if you're paycheck to paycheck, that's a great source of extra income right there.
I don't want to like assume their finances, but it does feel like they're not quite paycheck to paycheck.
Just saying, if we're in a place where it's like, grr, I wish I had more money for stuff. Well, there's a way to make some. Just put it out there.
Yeah, it feels like not quite paycheck to paycheck.
I recently got a couple of gift cards because of the holiday season. One is a $5 gift card for Starbucks and the other is $25 at Amazon. I brought up that I may have a package showing up soon because I wanted to buy something for myself from Amazon, and he suggested we should share that card and get something for both of us. I disagreed and we said some not so nice things to each other. The actual update, here we go.
Yay.
I read all of the comments from the previous post. And while I appreciate your concern, I am in no way being financially mistreated or given the short end of any sticks. We both share the burden of living and are doing fine. I asked him about why he got miffed at me wanting to use the $125 Amazon gift card I was gifted for myself, and he admitted he hoped I would get something for the house since the kitchen is lacking some equipment. He knows $25 isn't much, but it could make something nice cheaper. He then told me I don't have to do that. And by the way, you have to listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Search OK Storytime, and there you will find over 2,000 episodes to listen to, and you have to.
You've got to listen to me. It's the rules.
Listen to me. It's the rule. If you don't listen to OK Storytime, consequences. No, okay, no. I mean, well, the slow creep of entropy will come for us all one day. But
not today, though.
it is not this day.
No.
What do we say to the god of
Today.
Not today.
Yeah. That guy lived. First sort of I'm not getting into that. Okay. We have a little bit of story left.
Let's get into it.
I asked him why he brought up me being an only child. He said, I don't know. I guess I just am used to having to share and all that with my sisters, but I guess that's different. I reminded him we share everything except makeup and clippers, and reminded him it's not my fault my mom couldn't have more of me, just like it's not his fault his family had to stretch resources, and comparing our childhoods isn't going to cut it in any of our situations. I told him I wanted to get a polygel nail kit so I could do my own nails again. I lost my old stuff in a fire. He said, I do like when your nails are done.
I'm just picturing him like, I don't know. I always had to share with my sisters, but I guess you're not my sister. She's like, well, I'm going to buy a nail kit. Okay. And I'm going to get my nails done. He's like, I do like when your nails are done.
I do think your nails look nice.
I think they look pretty.
Okay.
Ay.
This is how the story ends is about
Yeah.
to make your brain melt.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Oh, no.
So- No, it's good.
Okay.
But it's like, what? What did we just talk about for 20 minutes? I told him I wanted to get a polygel nail kit so I could do my own nails again. And he said, I do like when your nails are done. Then we went out for a nice breakfast. So yeah, I'm keeping my darn gift card. The end. Thank you and good night. And that's the end of that story.
My sister-in-law made me keep a secret, and it totally ruined my marriage.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
My husband and I have gone through a few things in our 4 years together, but for the most part, we've had a really good and solid relationship. Our problems mostly stem from outside influences, as they usually do. For the sake of this story, here are the names for relevant people. John, my husband. Natalie, my husband's sister. Henry, sister-in-law's boyfriend / baby daddy. By the way, this comes from AnonThrow67, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, for a little background, I grew up as an only child, while my husband has quite a few siblings. I don't always know how to handle this dynamic, especially when siblings argue and fight. Natalie and I have a rocky relationship, very hot and cold. Sometimes we get along great and hang out, having a great time with a few girls' nights and such. Other times we practically hate each other, and she'll stab me in the back with no questions asked. I've come to terms with this and thought I knew how to handle it. Also, Natalie and Henry have an iffy relationship. Right now, she isn't happy with him at all. But they have a kid together, so she's doing her best in the situation. This comes into play later. Last weekend, Nat called John and me and wanted us to come down to the bar and hang out. So we went. We were hanging out. His dad was there for a bit, but left. Henry called John saying we should all come down to his garage and hang out. We were for it, but Nat and I had just gotten refills, so we decided John would go then, and when Nat and I were done, she would take me back to the garage for us to hang out. All fine and dandy, right? Wrong. This is where things took a turn for the worst. Now, in the past, when Nat and I have had girls' nights alone at the bar, there is this guy, Oscar, who will come around and try to flirt with us. Typically, he focuses on Nat, which is fine by me. She is her own person to make her own decisions. Usually, he comes over, shares some laughs, and everyone leaves. I figured tonight would be much the same when he approached us after John left. We ended up kind of merging with Oscar's group when I wanted to play some pool. Oscar kept flirting, only this time he was trying to flirt with me too. And we all kept drinking. Everything was fine until it was time for the bar to close. Nat was adamant that she did not want to go home yet. Let me stop right here to emphasize the fact that Nat had become my ride when John left. One of the people in Oscar's group suggested we all head back to their house and hang out in their garage.
Elite hangout spot.
I was not comfortable with this idea at all. We don't know these people outside of the bar, and going home with strangers is not my idea of fun.
Boo, you're boring.
Plus, our men were waiting for us and would not be happy about this.
Okay, well that is also fair. If you have
They
your
both
partners
have
are waiting for you, you
boyfriends.
can't just go to a stranger's garage and
They
be like,
both
we'll
have
be back
boyfriends.
later.
Or, well, she's got is this her husband or
But I do
boyfriend?
fully condone making new friends at the bar and then going and hanging out at their garage. That sounds like fun.
But Nat was all for it. Here's where the first major mistake was made that night. I told Natalie that wherever she went, I was going to go with her. She was my ride, and I was not letting her go anywhere alone. Between the two of us, I was the most sober, and I knew Oscar wanted in her pants. What I should have done was called my husband to tell him what was happening so he could come get us, or at the very least, me. Yeah.
True.
The bar closed, and the guys led us to their car. Nat hopped right in. Are you guys being kidnapped? I stayed in the door, hoping to God she would see reason, snap out of it, and take us home. She told me I didn't have to come if I didn't want to go, but I repeated the fact that I was not going to let her go anywhere alone. She wouldn't get out of the car, so reluctantly I got in. Major mistake number 2. They drove us to the house. Nat and I stayed in the car, where I tried to talk her out of this again, saying they needed to just drive us back. She suggested a walk down the street so she could throw up, sober up, and we could figure out what we were going to do.
That is the most logic I've ever heard. They're like, we should go home. And they're like, no, wait, no. I'm going to go throw up over there, and then I'll be ready to
come
make
back.
a plan. It's like,
Yeah.
no, dude, you're not in planning mode. You're in go home and go to sleep mode.
That's what we did. She threw up. I walked us back, and I told them they needed to take us back to the bar so we could go home. We both agreed this was a really stupid thing to have done, and it would never happen again. She wouldn't leave, though, without Oscar. So I made him get in the car so we could go. Unfortunately, he sat in the back with me and was getting super handsy, trying to kiss me. I said no and pushed him to his side. But I don't know what she saw or remembers about that ride.
Man, you got to give that guy the people's elbow.
Yeah.
You gotta get, as soon as the car turns, like, you
Yeah.
got to go, oh,
ooh, straight in the face.
oh, sorry, that was a hard
sorry.
turn.
I didn't realize my elbow hit your face. We got back and she said that we shouldn't tell the boys about what happened. They would get mad and we agreed it would never happen again. While I didn't like that idea, I knew they would get mad. Begrudgingly, I agreed. I wouldn't say anything if she didn't. Major mistake number 3. At a certain point, at a certain number of mistakes,
Yeah.
you're a little bit the a-hole here. She is the thing. She's making girl
both.
decisions.
They are both.
I think that that's also pretty irresponsible. If you have 2 people, one of which drove, and neither of you are sober, like you don't have any sort of DD here.
Yeah, you've taken a ride to Strangerland, which again,
Strangers.
under different conditions than this, I fully condone making
Yeah.
a new friend
Yeah.
and hanging
no.
out. But these people sound maybe kind of gross.
Yeah.
And you guys are. And I think we need to normalize manhandling your obnoxiously wasted friends.
Yes.
She's like, I don't want to get out of the car. And then you,
say,
get to go,
too bad. Bye.
all right, you get to feel what it's like to come out of that car now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like get out of those
Yeah.
situations. I did, however, make Nat agree that we couldn't be at the bar alone, just the 2 of us anymore. All seemed fine. Several days passed and life was normal until about 2 days ago when John came home early from work demanding to know what happened. Someone had told him they saw us get in and leave with this group. So I told him exactly what happened. But of course, Natalie told him that I was egging her on and encouraging her to do that. He obviously was furious. And I don't blame him, but got even more upset because he was being forced to choose between believing me and believing his family. She was very wasted.
What do you mean? Like,
What do you mean believing her or believing family? I just feel like, no, she was really
is he
wasted.
believing the incapacitated woman?
I
What?
So strange.
Who's hearing? We went out and she wanted, and they're like, she's telling the truth.
Yeah, well, I think she was, when she's recounting this, she's not.
Maybe
but
no,
yeah.
she's like that all the time.
Dang. I never asked him to choose, and I never would. He said he can't handle being forced to choose between me and his family anymore, and if it happens again, he's choosing himself and leaving all parties. We ended up working it out, and things are good. We made agreements regarding future nights out that we may have. But now my anxiety is through the roof. He didn't come home from work. All I got was a text about 2 hours later than he would have been home, saying he was with his dad and would be home later. It's been hours and he still isn't home. I'm getting worried. I'm sure the situation either has been or is being discussed. I'm already not in favor after his brother-in-law tried to force himself on me 2 years ago.
What?
Why?
What?
Whoa.
We need to get out of.
I'm sorry, did he not defend you after that happened?
Need new friends.
And a new partner. I got blamed because I shouldn't have been there in the first place, even though we live 50 feet apart and we're all having a fire in the backyard. But whatever, let bygones be bygones. No! I feel like OP has this kind of normalized sense because this not only happened with the brother-in-law, but it also happened with Oscar, where they like tried to kiss her or something, and she was like, no. And then she feels like, oh, she like did something wrong. It's like, no.
Normalize palm strikes to the nasal bridge.
It's like these people are not good people. And if your partner is not standing up for you or the people around you are not standing up for you, then you need to get them out of your life. But I can't handle this drama. I just want to live our lives. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make this easier for John. I don't know how to handle the seesaw with his sister. It seems with his sisters, this hot and cold relationship is pretty normal, but I'm not a sister. I'm just the woman he married. So it always comes out worse for me.
I'm
and
just
I
the
don't
woman
know what
he
to
married.
do. Yeah, it's like
I'm just his wife. Yeah.
It's so good. OP's like, oh, I don't get any say because I'm just his wife. I can't come between him and his family.
Right. As the Lord has dictated, I got no skin in the game here.
It's clearly putting a strain on him, and I don't want that. Sometimes I think it would just be easier for him if I left. But at the same time, if it ever happens, I want us to part because we felt it was what was best, not because of outside influence like this. It's not outside influence. It's your partner. It's your partner's reactions. Like almost all problems are caused by some sort of outside influence, and it's how you and your partner react to those.
It's true.
And-
I'm putting myself in that guy's shoes right now, though. And if my wife did go out to a stranger's house and caused all this stuff, I would be very much like, why didn't you just call me? Like,
Yeah, it
I
would
would
be-
be annoyed,
sure, it would
but
be-
if she was like, there was this guy,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, and
Oh,
that's
I don't-
also your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be like, all
I'd be
right,
like, hey, next time,
let's
like,
find that guy.
yeah,
But
like I think my take would be like, oh my god, like please, like next time just call me in the situation because I don't want you to put yourself, like I don't want you to be
Right.
put in a dangerous situation.
call
Not-
me.
It's your fault that guy tried to kiss you.
Right.
No,
Call me.
no.
'Cause she didn't even want to go, but she felt like,
Yeah,
and that
she
was
wanted.
another.
She also
was like,
wanted to protect
I
the
can't
sister.
get her out of the car.
Exactly. She didn't
But
want
that's
to
where
put
you
her
were
sister
wrong,
in it.
though,
Yeah.
OP.
Yeah.
Because you could have grabbed
Could've
that
grabbed her.
arm and
Yeah.
yanked.
Yeah.
And she would have come out of that car.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that your husband isn't listening.
brother
brother husband? No, your husband isn't listening to the fact that, or I hope you explain this. His sister was wasted and you did not want to leave her alone. You felt that you had no choice. You were watching out for her, like you were trying to protect her. I know a lot went wrong that night, and one phone call could have avoided the entire situation. I have admitted all my faults for that night and apologized profusely. I also learned a great deal from it. I tried to do what I thought was right in the situation and not leave his sister leave that bar with those guys alone, but I still did the wrong thing. I'm at a complete loss. I don't know what to do. I moved past him cheating on me 2 years ago before we were married.
Oh, well, you guys weren't married, so that didn't count.
He doesn't
Clearly.
know that I know.
Wait, what?
He doesn't know that I know, but I
Oh my
do. I
God.
forgave him and moved past it. You can't move past something that you never talked about.
I actually can't. I can't.
Your
with
husband
this.
sucks.
I can't with this.
Your
I
husband's.
can't.
Why did you marry a
But
man who cheated on you and never owned up to it? He doesn't know that you know.
You suck for that too.
Oh my god! That
Don't
that's a
stay with
self
this
a-hole.
guy.
It's a self a-hole.
This is a. I'm sorry that you have no self-respect.
It's not
That's
none.
something that happens, and it's unfortunate. But you are sucking. That sucks for you. So get out.
Get
what are you doing?
out. But I'm starting to wonder if this is it, the beginning of the end for us. Girl, we've been in the epilogue for 20 chapters.
You are currently buried under 6 feet of dirt.
Oh my
It is
goodness.
over. It's been over.
There's an update, but wow, OP, you need so much intense therapy. Because not only are you accepting random men trying to kiss you, which is not okay.
Gotta give them the people's elbow.
No,
You gotta give them the people's elbow.
I'm like, I understand that, like, OP, to be fair, OP did say, like, no. But,
Yeah.
like, I'm saying she's accepting in her mind. She's like, oh, well, bygones be bygones.
Or she's like, well, that was my fault.
Yeah,
That's,
it's like, oh,
she's
well,
been conditioned to be like, and this is my
Exactly.
fault.
And, of course, this is the people around her telling her that it's her fault. But she needs therapy because, girl, it's not your
Yeah.
fault. It's not your fault. You don't want that. And that's okay. And anyone who's saying, like, oh, you should have called, and because you didn't call, you deserve that. It's like, no.
I wonder if she just got married really young and it was like a
Must
thing where she's
be.
like, I can't back out.
Yeah.
And then it just became like well, this is it. It is what it is now.
I also think it's interesting that she, like, someone in the chat says, like, why is she hanging out with these people? But I'm wondering why she's hanging out with a sister. When she said she doesn't like her, I don't think you, like, are obligated to hang out with your partner's siblings, especially one-on-one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why are you hanging out with someone you don't like who it's just like a bad
I
influence?
got ages.
Mommy Dessert says, I'm seeing an age gap. I'm calling it. Let's see.
Feels like that.
Are you right?
You want to place any bets on what the age
No,
is?
I
think
got
she-
no bet. I got nothing.
think she is 24 and he is 31.
All right. OP is 22.
Okay, no.
Husband,
33.
24.
Okay. Well, I got 24 right.
Yeah.
I got one number right, just the wrong place. But there is an update. So that night, John didn't come home at all. He wouldn't answer any text messages or phone calls. I stayed up all night, worried sick, because I didn't even know if he was okay or if something had happened. He returned home the next day at 10:30 in the morning. At first, he refused to talk to me. When I finally got him to, it turned into a big fight. Probably the biggest one we've ever
I
had.
wonder if it was bigger than the one you would have had if you called him out for cheating on you.
This
Sorry,
is-
it's really sticking
yeah.
with me.
It's huge.
That's
For her to
crazy.
say, like, oh yeah, I forgave him.
Right.
He doesn't know.
You never spoke about it. That's
That's not how
impossible.
that works. This is what I've discovered happened that night he was missing. John was at the bar with Natalie, his father, and his other older sister, Amanda. Natalie told everyone that what happened was all my idea, that she was so wasted she didn't know what was happening, and she basically went along for the ride because I was encouraging her. Amanda said Natalie has always spun stories to make herself look like the good guy, and that she could see through the lies and BS in her story, so she asked me my side, which I really appreciated. John's father also encouraged him to get a divorce. He told John that he was better and deserved better than me. John also started going off about if I knew Oscar was told to stay away, why was I talking to him? Which had me really confused because I had no idea what he was talking about. Apparently, the first time Oscar approached Natalie and me almost a year ago, his dad was not happy about it at all. It was just friendly, getting to know a person's small talk. But I guess John's dad didn't see it that way. After Nat and I left, apparently he pulled Oscar to the side and told him to stay away, which, thinking about it now, makes sense that Oscar never approached us unless we were alone at the bar. But I didn't know about this altercation. Hindsight is 20/20, I suppose. John also threw the situation with his brother-in-law back at me, using it as a strike against my record. And to be honest, that seriously hurt me. I told him what his brother-in-law tried to do to me. I told everyone what he tried to do, but John said that he wasn't there, so he doesn't know what or who to believe about the events of the night. Again
with
Again, he's going, oh, well, you said one thing and my siblings said another thing, so I'm going to believe them.
Yeah, John with another cool guy move right there. Being
If
like,
you
I'm not
don't
gonna believe my
believe
partner.
your wife, then why are you married to her?
Because she's a
You
liar
pile
and I
of
like it.
garbage.
I like that she lies. I like liars. I like it.
I don't understand that.
She's not lying.
In the fight, yeah.
But where?
In that fight, he also told me that he has zero trust in me, which also really hurt. I've never given him a reason to not trust me. Anytime a guy tried getting handsy or anything with me, I always told him about it as soon as I could. Is it my fault that whenever it did happen, that the guy tried something when John wasn't with me? I walked away, and if they followed me, I put myself with someone else that I trusted, usually John's sister, Natalie. But then she would go and tell him that I was flirting with that guy. He also said that if he were to divorce me, he knew I would make his life miserable by fighting him on everything. If that is truly what he thinks of me, then he really doesn't know me at all after all these years. Yeah, I'm not one to give up on a relationship.
Oh, you don't say. Oh, really?
But if he was adamant, then I wouldn't fight him. I would want us to end as amicably as possible. There would be a few things I would want to take with me, but I feel like a conversation where we sit down and settle things wouldn't be hard. And to be honest, when he said that, I realized I wouldn't want to fight him at all. I just want it to be over with, and as easily as possible. He also said when considering a divorce, he thought about my Grammy. She's probably the most important person in my life. He said he thought about what she would say to us regarding a divorce and decided that he didn't want one.
I'm sorry, did he just grandma gaslight you right now? Who is this guy? Did he
The
learn
thing
this
is-
at a class?
I'm really, really worried that if he doesn't divorce her, she won't ever divorce him.
Divorce this guy.
I really hope that all of the comments in here are like, oh, please, girl, please get yourself out of this situation. You deserve better than this. It's been several weeks. Everything is fine.
No, it's not.
Honestly, it's like the fight never happened at all.
It's not. You even put it in there. You wrote it as everything is ... fine. No, it's not. You put the ... You know it's not fine.
John acts the way he did beforehand. He tells me how much he loves me, talks about plans for our future. But me, I'm an emotional mess. John said some really terrible things to me that night, things I can't get out of my head. I feel like the relationship isn't genuine anymore. I feel like it's forced. Maybe not all the time, but more than enough that it has me doubting a lot. And maybe it's just because he doesn't seem to feel the same way. I asked him if he felt that things had changed with us, and he said no. My mom and I have this little banter thing we do when we say I love you at the end of a conversation, and he picked up on it and started it with us too. He did it the other day, and my heart just didn't feel into it like it used to. He said he loved me, and I asked, no doubts? And he said he had no doubts.
Oh, what I did was this the same story where I said the words are cheap, the cheapest thing on earth?
Yeah.
No doubts. No doubt he's gonna cheat on you again.
But how can he tell me he loves me with no doubts after he told me he doesn't trust me at all? I've been dealing with probably the worst depression I've had to date for almost a year now. I've told him multiple times I really want to see a therapist, please. Not to be medicated, but for help. Surprise, surprise, John is violently against me seeing a therapist. In fact, he got really mad when I told him the doctor at my last appointment gave me a list of mental health professionals in our area for me to look into. He told me I'm not mental and I don't need to see anyone. If I need to talk, I can talk to him
me just
because he's
translate
isolating you.
Don't talk to a therapist because they'll tell you that you should break up with me.
Don't talk to anyone else in your life because they'll tell you you need to break up with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be too worried about making him mad. I made the mistake of saying maybe we should see a marriage counselor because clearly there are things we need to talk about, but he snapped at me saying he doesn't need a therapist.
So that's when you leave. You leave then.
But then he told me I needed to work on my depression, and I've been trying, I really have. But he's so against me seeing a counselor that I don't know what to do.
Leave him.
Maybe if I could see someone, I could move past all of these doubts in my head. I feel so confused. Am I holding on to things that I just need to let go of? I saw this post a friend of mine made about being in a relationship, meaning sticking with someone through the easy and the hard.
Nope. Mm-mm. That's not what this is.
That's not what this is.
Hard is when someone gets like a diagnosis.
Yeah. Hard is when you have financial trouble.
Yeah, hard is when someone gets fired. Hard is when someone's family is sick.
This is over. Is this one of those hard moments where I just need to let it go and just forgive and forget?
No, you let go of the whole relationship and you just leave him.
Like, let us not forget, OP is 22 years old and surrounded by people who gaslight her. The problem is I can't forget what he said, and I can't forget what his father said. I have always fought for what I believe in. I stayed with him when he tried dumping me and punting me out of our house over a text message. I forgave him and I moved on. But now I just feel so tired and lost and confused. I feel like I don't have any fight left. We were trying to start a family before this happened. Now I'm thinking maybe I should go back on birth control because as much as I want one, I don't want a child mixed into this, especially if we do separate.
Sweet. Jumping Jehoshaphat's. Don't have a baby with this guy.
Don't have a baby with him.
For the love of all that is holy, get back on birth control.
Please.
Oh
And
my God.
I'm not even transitioning to this. By the way, you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Hopefully happier.
Oh, there's got to be a transition in there somewhere. Come on. Where is
I don't
it?
even want
Bring it back
to.
up. Bring it back up.
But you can never separate from us. If you listen to full episodes of stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to the story,
That's
but
right.
OP, think about him telling your child if she were ever if it was a girl or a boy, and they were ever in a situation that you were put in where someone tried to kiss them that they didn't want to, picture him saying what he said to you. Picture his father saying what he said to you. You would, I hope, never accept that for your child, so don't accept it for yourself.
I'm just trying to think of what the actual advice here is because clearly we've already said everything we need to say to OP.
We know it's divorce.
Like as soon as if you're in a relationship and and your partner starts telling you things like, well, you can't talk to anyone about our relationship, or you shouldn't be talking to your family about that, or they're getting angry at you because you want to go see a therapist, those should be giant, blaring tornado siren warnings that you are with someone who is trying to trap you in like a toxic relationship.
Yep.
And that you
his
you
whole
don't want that.
His whole family, except for I guess one sister, is toxic and predatory. Like get out of there. But there is a little bit more. I'm also starting to picture different avenues that I want my life to take. Avenues that I don't think he would go along with. After I get my degree, I will most likely end up having to move. Where we live does not have any good job opportunities for me, but I don't think he would want to move. So I'm left questioning, do I put my goals aside for him, or do I follow my dreams even if it means leaving him behind? Someday I really want to travel. He doesn't. If you've stayed this long to listen to my ramblings, thank you. I try to keep it clear and concise, but my head is just such a mess. I'm not sure if I was able to. I don't even know if I really made the point I was trying to make. I just don't know what to do. I don't want to disappoint people by quitting, but I don't know if I'm really happy anymore. I mean, I am, but I'm also not. Does that make any sense at all?
My husband's ex wants to meet after repeatedly causing trouble.
Not me. You're not meeting me.
Stay far away, trouble. And there's a trigger warning here for physical violence. If you can't hear a story with physical violence, don't listen to this one. This will probably be long, so I'll try to lay out a timeline and be as concise as possible. And by the way, this comes from user Strech. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, August to November of 2013, she sends repeated threats of violence towards me and towards my then boyfriend. All are reported to the police as a non-emergency, but for documentation. October 2013, possible home invasion. We came home from a friend's birthday on a night where there was a show near our house that we knew she'd attended. When we got home, there were muddy boot prints leading up to the front door through our yard. I don't even know if that seems like that they didn't break in, but they just wanted to like scare you into thinking that they did. Because it's like leaving the muddy boot prints. It's like, what are they like? What is Scooby Doo? Like,
Yeah.
my husband is absolutely immaculate. So when we walked in and there were muddy footprints across the carpet, he was, well, never mind. He was stunned and disgusted. There was mud on our bed, and one of his bathroom towels was missing, as well as my car keys, which were on the counter. She was the only person besides him at the time who had a key, and all locks were changed the next morning. She vehemently denied doing this when he brought it up to her.
Vehemently?
Vehemently? She vehemently denied it when he brought it up to her a few weeks later. May or may not have been her, but the only things moved or missing were my keys and his bathroom towel, with no windows unlocked and no signs of forced entry. Yeah, it was her.
Yeah.
What is she going to do? Say, you got me.
Yeah.
Arrest me.
Yeah.
You found me. November 2013. She came up behind us, dragged me off him, and dumped a drink over his head.
Dude.
We began the process of filing a restraining order.
Yeah.
This is the event she repeatedly cites to her friends and the world that he attacked her, approached her, and hit her, and why her friends to this day says she holds a grudge and acts the way she does towards us. After this incident, she started telling everyone we knew this fake story and that she was attacked by him for no reason. We did not tell anyone much about it for a few reasons. A friend of ours was there who witnessed everything and knew the truth. We felt like the claims were so far removed from who he is as a man that no one would believe it anyway, and we do not like the airing of personal business and had no intentions of starting a blame game or making our friends feel like there were sides to be picked. 2 weeks later, we were out and she showed up. She got in his face in front of everyone we know, screaming, "Are you gonna hit me again, mother effer?" So we left. December 2013. Can I just say really quickly, you know what the funniest response could have been to that? Is if you like jokingly just like went on God and you like took like a 1920s like boxing like style. You're like, "Oh, fight has yet to commence." Like just, you know, you have to out weird this person. This person's
Yeah.
being weird in a creepy way.
Yeah.
You
it's
have to
gotta
be
real.
weird in an unpredictable way.
I don't know if that's the best advice, but it is good. It's funny advice.
It would be funny.
It would be funny.
It would be really funny.
It would be real funny.
20-day restraining order granted. But my husband was laughed out of court essentially since he was claiming abuse from a woman and did not have a lawyer, but she did.
I hate that. I hate that. That's not like men experience abusive relationships. They should be believed.
I don't know about that. That was my impression of the court.
Yeah.
That was me doing my
They're
court
like,
impression.
Woman, I don't believe it.
Hey, but woman smaller than man. How woman abuse man? Man stupid. She cried about spending her kids' Christmas money on a lawyer and missing her daughter's school Christmas party, so the judge determined that she had learned her lesson and would know to stay away from him. That day, she posted a picture on her Facebook of a fire she'd set to a Christmas stocking she had made for him. 2014 was fairly quiet. She consistently spread gossip about him, which most of the people we know have come to believe, which is the problem with taking a passive approach to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you have to reach out to everyone and be like, "Hey, just wanted to let you know, here's the proof. We literally went to court for this. We did not do the things that she's claiming.
correct.
She's actively stalking us."
Your decision to like not give your friends sides to pick, really all you did was give this woman a chance to give your friends sides to pick based off of false information.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was going to be a conflict and a war here regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So you should have gotten ahead of it. One of my husband's friends who believed it at first but came to realize these things were lies told it to us this way. She was talking to anyone who would listen about how he had mistreated her and hit her. We stayed silent. Don't know why. People want to believe a good story, and our silence allowed them to believe it was true. We felt we were trying to take the high road by not airing dirty laundry, but in retrospect, we would have done things differently. This past Saturday, she showed up at a concert we were at. As always, I avoided eye contact, stayed out of her way, and we kept to ourselves. At one point, I saw a friend across the room I hadn't seen more than a few times in the last 6 or 7 years, so I went over to say hi. I didn't know that the ex and a friend of hers were standing behind him. The story, that, as they put it, is that I was all up on the friend, whom I had never met and didn't know to be a friend of hers, or I would have stayed away. I was standing next to my friend, next to a mosh pit, so it's entirely possible that people were bumping around, but I didn't think about it because that just happens at shows. The girl pushed me. I stepped back and turned towards the stage again. She pushed me harder, and the next thing I knew, she was holding my arms while the ex dragged me to the ground. I'm not sure what happened after that, as they threw my purse and my glasses behind the bar, but eventually the ex's new fiance helped me off the ground, and I collected my things and left. The ex has a fiance?
And he watched all of that, and he's still her fiance? Police, arrest her. Arrest her.
Also, what show is this? Like, for a second, I thought this was like a metal show. But if this happened at a metal show, anyone dragging a woman to the ground in a metal show,
Yeah.
you're going to end up in the hospital.
Yeah.
So, after a very hateful phone call from the friend, who I suppose I have now actually met, it was relayed to us that the ex and her fiance want to meet with my husband and me to talk things out.
Nope.
The ex called my husband at work this morning to try to talk about things, which I feel is completely inappropriate. And we did file a police report yesterday. But since it was the day after the incident, we were at a club and everyone was drinking, despite not being wasted, we were written off by the police. When her friend called to tell us that they wanted to meet, we did tell her that we had filed another report, and her response was, "Oh, that's going to help. No one is going to want to be friends with you if you call the cops every time something happens, right? I do not care to be friends with people who think that way anyway, so that doesn't bother me. But the police told us that a restraining order would be hard to grant given the situation."
How? How?
There's another edit here. I'm shocked at the oh, you called the cops because I did battery on you? Well, you realize being a narc makes you pretty unlikable, right?
No one's gonna want to be friends with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure physically attacking people makes you pretty unlikable too.
Yep.
I spoke with my husband at more length about the phone call he received this morning. Her spin was that she was sorry things are so effed up and she's concerned for me because now I have a problem with her friend. It worries me that such a hateful, violent person is now supposedly concerned for my safety. I know nothing of that woman except her approximate age and name. I wouldn't even recognize her if I saw her. And there's an update. Is the restraining order still in? I'm like thinking if there's a way you can swindle this person into like being in a situation where the courts would have to grant you a more serious restraining order.
Incredibly frustrating that this keeps not going through. Like restraining order didn't get through, police report didn't get taken serious. What do you have to do to get this woman away from you?
Yeah, I don't know, just like give her like full access to like an array of sharp objects or dangerous weapons and like, I don't know, just like let her go crazy on you. Then the cops will be like, well, we can help you now. Yeah. Now that all of the liquid in your body is leaking out of you, we can take her to jail. Crazy. First things first, we decided not to meet with her. And I'm still wondering why we even entertained the idea as long as we did. The ex has continued to badmouth my husband, 49 male, and myself to the people in her life, but that's nothing new and we couldn't care less. It appears she still has people monitoring our Facebook pages for her. And that didn't bother me either because we never post about her or really anything personal, other than updates on our house, cars, and events we're looking forward to. However, it all came to a head this weekend. My husband occasionally shares those stupid inspirational text meme things on Facebook, and he shared one that said something along the lines of, "If you want to know something about my life, the best person to ask is me." Apparently, the ex got wind of this post that was only on his page for 5 hours and determined it was about her. Some sort of direct attack.
Oh, no.
Of course she assumes it's about her because she's out here talking crap about his life to everyone who will listen to her.
She's a freaking liar.
A mutual friend of ours, us and the ex, sent my husband a screenshot of her page, which said something along the lines of, if you want to ask him about his life, why don't you ask him about how he likes to hurt women? I've never had a man or couple so obsessed with me. I wish they would leave me the heck alone. Let me reiterate, we avoid her at all costs. We don't talk to people she's with in public, even if they're our friends. We don't talk about her to our friends. We don't ask anyone to pick sides because most of the people in our lives don't know about most of what was written in that last post, which
Tell
is
them.
your fault.
Tell them.
For God's sake, stand up for your... What if this was like felony allegations? What if this was like, yeah, and they dumped the bodies in the marsh? Would you still be like, well, we just don't want to make people pick sides?
If I were the friend, I don't know. Like, if I were one of OP's friends, I would want to know that this was happening. I would want to know that, like, a person, if I was friends with the other girl as well, I would want to know that she's, like, crazy.
And you know what I blame this? Well, no, I can't even blame this because they're 50. I was going to blame this on the school system being like, and if you're getting bullied, you're both in trouble. Because I do think that like so much passive behavior in relationships now today is because of like certain things like that. Where it's like, dude, I think if you're getting bullied and you like defend yourself, I don't think that you should get in the same amount of trouble as the person bullying you.
Not at all.
Which is absurd. But it's that kind of stuff that teaches people that they should just let it go. Oh, just don't get involved. Don't be passive. Don't be active. And it's like, yeah, this is how stuff gets snowballs and gets out of control. Her post was the straw that broke the camel's back. I couldn't handle reading such awful things being said about my husband for nearly 2 years now when none of it is true. I copied everything I outlined in my previous post here and modified it to be more appropriate to people who knew her. I didn't call her by name and stated that I would be removing any comments disparaging to the ex, as I was not looking for gossip and pitchforks, but to finally state our side since the issue just hasn't gone away. Well, someone sent her a screenshot of my post and everyone who liked and commented on it, and she went totally postal. She started messaging everyone who interacted with my post to find out why they liked it or why they said they supported us when it was obviously all lies. She deleted everyone from her Facebook who would not tell her that they would stop speaking to us, which is fine by me, and I'm assuming those people are all right with it too, as we're adults, and no one should be made to pick sides. That is not true. Sometimes there are sides to be chosen. Do you think people didn't pick sides in the Second World War?
Very clearly there are sides.
There are times to pick sides. Her main claims are that she was the one who tried to work things out and meet with us, and it's because of us not speaking to her that this continues to go on. And of course, that we're the ones lying about everything. We've skipped most of the events we were looking forward to attending these last couple of months, and we'll skip a few more. But we also bought pepper spray to keep on me in public because she's just not stable. The police were no help, but we're better directed now on what to do if anything happens in the future. Hopefully there's no more updates. And there's an edit, 25 female, forgot I had a birthday. And there is a second update. Ooh, and it looks like OP is probably a lot younger than...
You thought they were 50?
Huh?
Did you think they were 50?
Husband's 50.
Oh,
Husband's 49.
Okay, got you.
So there's an age gap, which might again be driving how upset the ex is because it's like new hotness.
Younger, sure.
You know, quote unquote. The police directed us what to do in the future. Yeah, when she like stabs you, call us.
Yeah, we can't really do anything until... Yeah, which is a thing. They can't do... They don't... Well, they can, but they don't do anything unless you've been like literally stabbed. Like they don't do anything about stalking situations. Which is infuriating.
Yeah, and then they show up and they're like, yay, we're so excited for you. You can finally get that restraining order. Let's get in the ambulance. We'll take you to the hospital and get all those stab wounds stitched up.
And
Great.
you're about to pay $5,000.
That's after insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, update number 2 here. My husband and I took a delayed honeymoon after our wedding, and as our train was pulling out of the station, I got a call from the police department. Turns out they had been in contact with the ex, and the situation was moving forward after 2 months of not hearing anything from anyone in the court system. We kind of thought, since the police were no help, that nothing happened or would happen, but we were wrong. So what, they were building a case? The woman I spoke with told me that she'd been given the opportunity to enter her plea, and if she pled not guilty to abuse, we would be going to court. After that phone call, I've had zero communication from either the police or the courts. We looked online that in June she'd entered a not guilty plea, so for all we knew, we were going to court, and we're awaiting that phone call. In the interim, I started seeing a counselor because I was having nightmares about her and about court and about everything. and I was finding myself heavily obsessing about the situation, trying to figure out why she was acting the way she was. The counselor has been very helpful in getting me to understand that you just can't really figure out how and why crazy happens. It just does. Comforting to know he didn't feel like I'd blown things out of proportion. Last night, we looked online again for an update to the court case, and as it turns out, she changed her plea from not guilty to no contest, and the case is now closed. I'm still a little surprised we didn't hear back from the police or courts, but I don't care either way. She's on probation until November and had to pay a fine to the city, so no lawyer fees for me, no court, and no having to see or talk to this woman again.
Thank goodness.
I feel like 1,000,000 tons have been lifted from my shoulders. And by the way, you can listen to like 1,000,000 stories when you listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify,
True dat.
Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime and you can find the whole archive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 60 days worth of stories.
Whole lot of stories.
So your ears are going to have a parade.
Field day.
They're going to be so happy. There's a little bit of story left here, but Sophia, do you have any closing remarks here?
I mean, like, thank God you're finally getting some sort of, ending resolution to this. Because, wow, you had to go through a lot. And so did your partner. Before anyone, like, started freaking taking it serious.
And can we please, like, not ever think that someone actively stalking us and committing acts of violence against us and us being like, hey, that's not cool. You're not overreacting.
No.
You're not over. If anything,
It's
y'all
not
were
an
underreacting.
You guys underreacted big time.
Like
you can tell your friends. They're your
Yes.
friends because for a reason. And if they side with her after finding out that, she did all that stuff, then not your friends.
life has been great for us lately. Started a new car club. I've grown closer with a lot of people who were more casual friends before and are currently checking items off of our list of dreams we didn't think were going to happen. It's amazing what a real wake-up call can do for your motivation for your future. And that is the end of that story.
There we go. Okay, well, I'm glad that there was a resolution and you're seeing some, change and some consequences happening to this woman because you didn't deserve any of that. That's frustrating.
That is for sure.
But that's the end of that story. My wife confessed her affair to me while we were on vacation.
Oh, that's the worst time.
I am 3.5 weeks post-affair discovery. I, 28 male, was working abroad for 7 months while my wife, 27 female, stayed back at our apartment. She works full-time and goes to grad school at night. I got 3 weeks off and planned a European vacation for us. My wife would meet me during her spring break, and then I would go back to work and she would return home. By the way, this comes from Practical Tip 571, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, on the first day, when I picked her up from the airport with a rose in hand, she seemed a little distant, and I attributed that to jet lag. Throughout the day, things seemed mostly normal. At lunch, she ordered fish. She's a strict vegetarian, and that really threw me off, but I figured she wanted to enjoy the coastal cuisine. Later in the day, I made a comment about having kids, and she said something to the effect of, "We have some problems to sort out before we have kids." I was pretty shocked by this statement because we had been talking about having kids as soon as I got back from my 1-year work assignment abroad. We had been having these discussions within the last several weeks. I kind of attributed the comment to jet lag. Stop. And we went to the hotel to take a nap. After the nap, I brought up the comment about the kids. This led to a long discussion about how she finds some of my behaviors emotionally harmful. This is a conversation we have had before and even enrolled in DIY Gottman therapy. In the past, I have reacted negatively to the term emotional abuse because even by her own admission, my behaviors are not intended to cause her any harm. It is more of a communication style issue. She went into the details of what she considers emotionally harmful, which are excessive concern for her in social situations where I'm not at. She got blackout wasted at a coworker party once, and I have been worried about her since then, but I wouldn't be overbearing. Talking down and being short with her, judging her, I really don't. She just thinks I do. Concern about how she spends her money. She has concealed thousands in purchases from me, and our finances are completely combined. Yikes. In therapy now and talking to friends, the emotional abuse accusation seems to be more of a distraction But I really bought it, hook, line, and sinker at this point. I listened to all of what she had to say, and I validated her feelings because I could see she was upset. And I said, even if I didn't intend to hurt you, I never want you to feel that way. I said I would come home and cancel the trip to work on the marriage and evaluate if I should cancel the rest of my assignment overseas. At this point, she begins breaking down, and the words that are still haunting me came out of her mouth. I cheated on you.
Oh, no.
She was projecting, OP. And then she felt bad because you were really nice about it.
Oh, man.
I literally could not believe it. I have been with her for 8 years. Oh, I trusted her with my life, and this is completely out of character. I pressed for details, and she said she got wasted at a grad school happy hour and met a guy named John and went to his apartment and had spicy sleep with him. She gave me a lot of I don't knows and couldn't give me a date. She assured me multiple times that it was one time. She doesn't know the guy and never talked to him again. I believed her. I threw up. I cried. I had what felt like a panic attack. My life was completely flipped upside down. I eventually calmed down, and my wife and I talked, and I forgave her and expressed a desire to move forward. We decided we would finish the week in Europe, and I would return to the States with her and cancel my work assignment abroad to work on the marriage. The week in Europe was great. Was it? We had so many deep conversations about life and our future and our past. We had amazing spicy sleep like 3 times every day. Google hysterical bonding. We took selfies kissing. We talked about having kids. We made future plans. What is going on?
We took selfies kissing. I thought we had a good relationship.
Once we got back home, it's like a switch flip. We had marriage counseling scheduled for 2 days after I got back. The day before the counseling, my wife broke down to me and told me she was 100% done with the relationship and said she was too far gone. I reassured her that it's okay to have these feelings and let's go to the counselor. At the counselor, they told my wife it appears she is in flight mode and told her to give it 2 weeks before deciding if she wants to leave. She agreed, and we also agreed to give each other space while we both went to individual therapy. That lasted less than 24 hours. The next day, she was even more distant. She was guarding her phone very strangely and texting constantly. I assumed she was planning her exit from the apartment with family. I found a journal entry which she left out in the open with plans to get lawyer. It's just
Get lawyer.
It's on the coffee table. And it says, 1, get lawyer. 2,
How do taxes?
how do taxes? And get apartment. At that point, I realized it was done. I called my parents, and they were insistent there must be more to the story, like another guy in the picture. I was adamant that was not the case. There was no way my wife could lie to me like that. Especially during such emotional, deep conversations. They took selfies kissing. She leaves the apartment that night. On the way out, she cries and tells me she never wanted to hurt me. I am confused and sad. She goes to a female coworker's house out of town for the weekend. She breaks the news to our mutual friends who are all just as confused as me. By Saturday, I'm starting to process the situation, but I remember my parents' concern about another guy in the picture. Out of due diligence, I check the phone records. Over 2,000 messages in less than a week, and a 65-minute call with a male coworker, all at night. I start to panic. I eventually am able to see her location history. She goes to his apartment multiple times overnight, a week before the vacation. I find social media messages between them. She's messaging about how much she enjoyed effing him while she was sitting next to me on the couch the day she was guarding her phone. My heart drops. I feel sick. I feel like such an idiot for being manipulated by her. I feel like I don't even know who this person is. I confront her, and all she can manage is, I didn't want to hurt you. She still hasn't given me an answer as to how this happened. She told no one, not her friends, her parents, and she made it seem completely normal to me while she was effing this other guy. She's a very good liar, OP.
Yeah.
She then signed the lease in his apartment building a city over and moves out a week after I find out. Moving her stuff out, she is cold and is nothing like the person I know. I am struggling right now with the lack of closure. When did she check out of the marriage? Were there other affairs? Why not just leave if you're unhappy and there is an update? Do you have any thoughts for OP?
I mean,
And
yeah.
prayers?
Why not just leave?
Yeah.
Just leave.
Well, I mean, she's left you, so.
I mean, she's gone now.
She's gone now.
But I mean, like, if you are
very sad.
at
I'm
the
sorry,
point
Abby.
where you like think you want to cheat on your husband, then
Just
leave your
leave.
husband, and then you
Don't
don't have to
do-
cheat.
Yeah.
You get both.
I don't understand it. It's like you just leave.
Just get out of there, man.
Just
Like
leave.
there's no way that it's going to just there's no way that you're either going to keep the secret forever or that it won't hurt him.
No, exactly. It's
know.
always going to come out. It's going to be worse in the long run.
Yeah.
So just leave.
Just leave.
Update. Today we exchanged financial documents through lawyers. Our finances were completely integrated and we used a budgeting app that auto-imported transactions. However, my soon-to-be ex-wife's bank account, I don't know why that is so hard. However, my soon-to-be ex's wife's bank account and credit card that she had since high school did not work with the auto-import, requiring her to manually enter transactions. And I'm sure you can see where this is going. Going through the statements on the account, I found approximately $600 to $1,400 a month for the last 6 months
Oh my
plus.
gosh,
You
a
need to
month?
keep track of your finances, OP.
Holy crap.
In spending on jewelry, lingerie, clothes, makeup, plants, Etsy, etc. We both had $400 each discretionary spending. She would only enter transactions to get up to $400, and some of the purchases were on other cards. And then she would just move money at the end of the month to cover the card's balance. I unfortunately did not catch this as I was working a lot, and we also had a lot of money coming in due to my job, so it was easier for her to conceal. I mentioned in my original post that last October, I caught her concealing similar purchases using a different method. She promises to stop stress shopping. Well, clearly she did not. It is another example I am finding of her actions not aligning with her words. But you can always align with us by listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a
That's
little
right.
bit left to this story. Any final thought?
I just forgot what we read.
She cheated on him twice
Yes.
and then left him.
Yes.
And then also stole money from their
Oh,
joint
that's right.
account.
The money. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that just like adds insult to injury because this is their shared money that
Yeah.
he mentioned earlier in the story. Like
Mhm.
this
that
isn't
she had already been spending thousands of dollars with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I was reading the thing and it was saying like 600 to 1400, I was thinking like that was the whole time. But then it said a
a
month?
month when their
That was
discretionary
crazy.
spending is $400.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like that's not just like a spending problem. That's like a
Theft.
big,
It's like
big
theft.
problem.
There's a little bit more though. All right. She's already left, so you don't have to leave her. You should,
Yeah.
but
Trash take itself
it's
out.
gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
I also have been exploring attachment theory and working on myself to better understand how my communication could have been better in the relationship. It has explained a lot of things that I do and she did that I previously did not understand why. I am in a much better spot than my first post. It still sucks. I still don't get good sleep and I get thoughts about this all day, but I'm also having good moments sprinkled in there. We have very limited communication and I have blocked her on every social media and form of contact besides email. That has helped me too.
Good.
OP, it's not your fault. She's
Yeah.
a cheater and she was going to cheat regardless of what you did or how well you communicated.
Right. That just sucks, man.
It sucks. It sucks.
That sucks. And I'm very sorry that you had to go through that, but I'm also very glad that you didn't just push through it.
Yes.
You tried to.
you tried to push through it and
which is
she
great,
left.
honestly.
She left and that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
you did
good.
what you could.
I didn't want my husband to leave, but now I'm changing my mind.
Turn around, touch the ground, kick your husband out of town.
Also, trigger warning for those, there is emotional abuse. If you are not okay with that or if that bothers you, please go to the next story. Thanks.
Mhm.
And starting off, am I the a-hole for not wanting my husband to leave me? I, 24 female, have been married for 2 years, but together with the same man, 26 male, for nearly 6. Together, we have a daughter who's 2 years old. My husband will call him Bob. And I wanted to move out and buy a home after we had our daughter. We lived with our family for a bit until we eventually bought a home. By the way, this comes from user Marzipan Sands on the r/Charlotte Debray YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, my husband knew I was stressed regarding the living situation because, to be honest, it wasn't good and took it upon himself to apply for a mortgage. This shocked me because we were jokingly moving from Washington to North Dakota because the prices for homes were vastly different. Yes, they are. You're
Sure.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Well, he applied for a mortgage in North Dakota. Since we took the credit hit, I assume might as well look. We found a house and moved, and we were so freaking happy. Jump forward to October, and my father came to visit and told me he felt that Bob was not treating me well. I have several health issues that we are working with specialists to figure out what. My father pointed out I was doing most of the housework and looked miserable.
Mm.
I will say I was exhausted, but I still thought I was happy, and I am a full-time online student and stay-at-home mom. Wow. However, there are several things I can't do without suffering later. I brought this to Bob's attention, and every time he would just say he would do better, but nothing would change.
Mm.
After we visited family in January, things got worse. He stopped acting affectionate at all. No hand holding or anything like that. Would walk several paces ahead of me when we were out and stopped opening doors for me, but would open them for other people.
That's weird.
I
That's
feel like,
suspicious.
yeah, maybe he's got something against you now.
Walking ahead of you, man? That sounds like a bratty child that is just upset about something.
He's got his little arms like this. Like,
yeah.
Are you okay? Yeah, why?
He just speeds up ahead of you.
No, I'm just a fast walker.
Oh my gosh.
This began to really bother me, and I would bring it up several times and get the same response every time. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I'll do better. Never did better, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
During this time, I would ask him frequently if he still loved me, and if he was happy, and let him know he could tell me if he wasn't. He would adamantly say yes every time, not showing it. Actions speak louder than words.
Right.
Eventually, I became resentful after we found out I probably have lupus and APS and will continue to get worse. Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yikes.
And this is when your husband should be your rock and
Right.
should support you and be there for you and make you feel better and,
Right. Maybe do some more work around the house.
yes.
Yeah.
Anything to make you relax or just help in general.
Yeah.
I became very depressed, and Bob now claims he did as well at the time. Well, things got even worse, and I became resentful and angry because he wouldn't do the few chores I'd ask him to do.
Dang.
The chores were to wash the dishes. I'd put them away. And to do the laundry, but I would fold and put them away. He agreed to these and felt it was fair, but wouldn't do them until I nagged so much, and he would do the dishes and would be so bad at doing them that they would start growing fruit flies. That's
Yikes.
disgusting.
Ew.
That's foul.
That's a health concern. You've got children. This is literally a weaponized incompetence.
He should be doing both the dishes and putting them away. And he
Yeah.
should be doing both the laundry and folding them for
Yeah.
you.
And he should also just not want to live in an area where his dishes are growing fruit flies.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Do your dishes.
Gosh.
And support your wife.
Yes. Please.
I will admit at this point, I was in the wrong because I would call him while he was on break at work sometimes and tell him I was mad about the dishes, mostly because we can't live like that, especially not with a small child. And he would apologize and says he loves me, etc.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Jump forward to the end of April. Now I've said to him, I want a divorce because my family has come to visit after I had to have my gallbladder removed due to the lack of blood flow. And they also saw how he was treating me and they became angry.
Mm.
They tried to convince me to leave and I caved. At this point, he has also done other things that upset me, like opening a bank account behind my back, which I did not yell or anything about it. I didn't even say anything after I found out, besides that he needs to keep me in the loop. So I caved and told him I was leaving because I felt unloved and unhappy and he wouldn't change. And this is where he's going to get on his knees and tell you, don't leave. I'll do this for you, baby.
Right. Or make you feel bad and feel like they're manipulating you.
Let's see. He begged me not to go and told me that he couldn't live without me.
Boo-hoo.
You could-
Clearly.
yeah, obviously. But
Yeah.
you can 100% live without him.
Exactly.
This worried me, so I caved. No. Eventually, I finally said enough was enough and took off my ring and told Bob, as far as I'm concerned, we are done. Oh, you caved the right way, not to Bob.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Good. At this time, I was talking to someone online. I play video games, but it was not romantic as I told him about my situation. After I told my friend, we'll call the friend Steve, about what I told Bob, he admitted he felt it was for the best, but didn't want to say because he felt Bob was abusing me by not helping me and also not picking up my meds from the pharmacy, but not wanting me to drive with our child because I get dizzy spells? What does Bob do for you?
Nothing.
Other than make your life a living heck.
He's literally an obstacle.
Yeah, you're taking care of like you're taking care of a man baby right now.
Yeah.
Steve also tells me at this point he has feelings for me, so we start casually flirting because I was rebounding. I've been starved of love for months at this point, but I wish I hadn't indulged myself. After a week and a half, roughly, Bob begged me again not to leave because I reminded him I wanted a divorce, and I told him I wanted to see other people. We then discussed an open relationship. We did not talk about do's and don'ts like we should have, but we just agreed on an open marriage. No.
Yikes.
Why are you making it messier? You
Uh.
divorce first.
You didn't talk about rules?
Yeah, there
That's
should
the
be-
only rule about open relationships is that you gotta talk about rules.
At this point, you're not even in a marriage because you're taking care of a man baby who doesn't love you.
Yeah.
Or doesn't he says he does, but he's not doing that.
Oh my goodness.
Well, time goes by and I had the opportunity to go see Steve. At this point, Bob and I had discussed that if I saw Steve in person, we would not have spicy sleep because Bob couldn't handle it, and I agreed. Well, I ended up deciding I didn't want to go see Steve and had even told Bob several times I wanted to break things off with Steve, but Bob would get mad at me and tell me no. Literally tell me he would get mad at me. Okay? Well, I told Bob I don't want to go see Steve. I'm going to refund the ticket. Bob asked me why, and I explained that we tried it, and it doesn't feel right to me, and things were slowly starting to feel better between us. Bob explained he was annoyed and didn't care if I went or not, but I followed through and canceled the flight. Because probably Bob's seeing somebody else.
Yeah, probably.
Now, 2 days after our 2-year wedding anniversary, Bob has told me he wasn't in love with me anymore, and he
Great.
broke up with me,
Great.
telling me it's because I'm a bad mother, something he has never once said before. I freaked out, cried, begged, everything. He held strong and said no. Why are the tables turned here?
He's getting his power back.
Ugh,
Pushing her
don't.
down.
Stop.
Yeah.
Then the following day, I had a very important doctor appointment an hour and a half away, and he refused to take me, meaning I had to drive myself. I cried the entire drive.
Oof.
When I got home, he apologized and we talked things out and even agreed to stay together. No!
Classic.
Stop!
Classic.
Why? I again brought up cutting Steve out so we can focus on us. Bob, good old Bobby, said no. Things were starting to get better. I was slowly distancing myself from Steve because it felt right. Then I found out Steve cheated. I didn't really care and saw it as a reason to stop talking to Steve, but I didn't block him. Bob ended up looking through our messages, which I didn't delete or hide because I truly didn't think I was cheating or anything of the sort since we agreed on it. Well, Bob comes to me and says he went through them and he was done with me and no longer loved me because I was a cheat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure.
This is
That
hurting my
makes
brain.
so much sense.
Angie, this is hurting my brain. They agreed. You agreed on an open marriage.
She repeatedly said, "Oh, I'll stop seeing Steve." Right?
I
Because
don't
that's
even
causing
wanna-
problems. And he's like, "No, keep going."
No,
He's-
keep going.
He's definitely doing that so he can like
Just
use
hold it over
this
her.
cheating thing. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
At first, I panicked and cried and begged, and I said I was sorry. He was right. I'm horrible. No! After I calmed down, I realized we agreed to an open marriage. What did he mean I was cheating? Yes!
Now you're getting it.
We had sent some images back and forth, but I never once met with this person in real life. By the way, you can watch us in real life by listening to full episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. 65 days and counting of content.
Mm-hmm.
Still going strong.
So many.
There is a little bit left to this. OP. OP.
OP. This poor
You
girl.
had it. You had
Oh,
it right there.
man.
It was right in front of you. You literally arm's length of, I think I'm going to divorce you. And he begged and cried and he said, I still am going to divorce you.
Yeah.
And then you're like right there to click the button,
Right.
like
then
finger
he's-
on the trigger on the button.
Yeah.
And you took it off. You're like,
Wait.
I think we can do an open marriage.
Man.
I think that might make this relationship a lot better. This might strengthen the relationship
Wrong.
when it's only been me, and now look where it's gotten us.
Wrong.
He's-
Yeah.
He's manipulating you, making you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
Why? Get away from this man. He's done nothing right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and finish the story. I really hope you get back to that button and press it and you just divorce.
Please.
There's no point of being with Bob, especially after the way he's treating you right now.
Yeah.
I confronted Bob, and he told me he realizes this, but didn't care. I was still a cheat, and he didn't want me. He said I was tainted now,
Ugh.
and I wasn't his.
Yikes.
He took off his ring and smashed it.
What?
My heart shattered along with it. The last several days have been crying and arguments where he has gone back and forth on loving me still, but not being able to be with me, now to him being completely angry at me. This also seems like a case of something with Bob because he's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah. He just.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, last night, he led me to believe he might change his mind by saying he loved me still and did want to stay and he wants to cave, but he can't. He admitted that he knows that if I had thought I was cheating on him, I never would have done the things I had because I did still love him. He's still refusing to stay with me to even try to work past things, but also wants me to live with him and our child so that he can see her and me until we can sell our house and move back home to be with the family. Am I an a-hole? Am I the cheater he's saying I am? I know I effed up in many ways, but what do I do? And there are comments. Angie, is OP an a-hole?
No, not at all. Not at all. This is literally this is classic manipulator moves. Okay. He is desperate for some sort of power in this relationship or just in general. And he maybe is having his own conflicting feelings about the relationship and just has absolutely no idea how to deal with them. Not something that should be sympathized with in this situation, but he is so classic for him for people to just be like, you're the problem. You're the reason that this relationship isn't working. Not me, it's you. And then being like, I still love you. See, I'm not the problem because
But I can't be
love
with you. But I can't be with you
Yeah.
because you cheated on me, even though I agreed to an open marriage
Yeah.
because you wanted to divorce me because I was a scumbag and didn't do anything you asked me to do.
Right.
But you're the a-hole, OP.
Yeah.
No.
No, not at all. And
no.
it sucks though too because there's absolutely nothing you could do to change this guy's mind. So you really just have to leave and go to therapy, and hopefully eventually you'll learn that it's truly not your fault at all.
Yes.
He's just a crazy guy.
We have some comments. Comment number 1. You know why everyone was telling you to leave for months. Because everyone sees what you don't. He's harmful and likes playing games with your mind. Why do you think that every time you were ready to leave, he suddenly wanted to make things work? That's how abusers are when their plaything decides that they're done. They start love bombing you to make you second guess your choices. Just stop chasing someone who likes hurting you. The whole open relationship thing was a trap to make you look like the bad guy. If you can't, get a parenting app and only talk to Hav about the kid. Nothing else for the love of God. And that is the end of that story.
Oh, thank goodness.
If your family is telling you this is not healthy, they're most likely right.
Yeah. Trust them. Trust the people around you.